Oh, hello. Murder Church on the air. There we go. Fix the mic. What's going on? Episode 12, Phil Spector murder trial. Murder Church coming at you right now. Please hit the like. Please share this out. Coming at you, man. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We still have currently right now Kathy Sullivan, who is a waitress who is giving some weird vibes even on the stand right now. Still in the middle of her testimony. We're going to start up right in the middle of that. Thank you guys so much. Let's go.
Let's rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Publicly Buzzed proudly brings to you Murder Church this morning live on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube as well. Thank you guys so much for coming in here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I have a couple of things I'm gonna have to do before once we get this thing rocking and rolling and started. See the chat already rolling here. I'm gonna have to go upstairs and get some coffee for sure. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming in here. Really appreciate it. Again, like I said, we're about halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through the testimony of Kathy Sullivan, waitress Kathy Sullivan, who claims Spector escorted her and her friend to their car while holding a gun. If anybody saw Tuesday's episode, we got about halfway through again this lady's testimony. There were some weird vibes that she was kind of throwing off, even some stares towards Phil Spector's area. So I don't know. This one hasn't been exactly the same as the rest of the ladies that have come forth saying similar things. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the chat in here. I know Jay's doing a premiere right now, and he's going to be sending some fine folks over here as well. And it's Jay's birthday as well, my brother from another mother. Happy birthday, dude. Let me get the chat in here so I can show off who has come through this morning. Simi Sharp's in the house. Gabby's in the house eating some ramen. Damn, let's go. It's damn right. Let us pray. We ain't messing around. BGOG coming through. Paige Miller coming through this morning. Afton in the house. In the house. Yeah, thank you for that. I messed up the mic immediately. I was like, wait, why is my mic so low? As I was kind of going through there. George Caspera coming through here. Thanks, everyone. Debbie also in the house. Morning. Yeah, again, we are going to be picking up right in the middle of the testimony where we left off last time on Tuesday. So hopefully everybody is caught up on the current Murder Church episodes. Yeah, I think Jay was doing like another experts battle this morning from the recent stuff. I think it was probably from the stuff that was going on Friday, if I'd imagine. I didn't have a chance to just jump in there this morning, but I know that he's about to send a bunch of fine folks right into here. Jersey Jan coming in as well. Good morning. I hope that you had an absolutely great weekend, an amazing weekend. I know they had a pretty good weekend. Yesterday was awesome. I got some good shots yesterday. I actually went back down to the town next to us. Shweddy, good morning, man. And got some more shots, some more stuff for Patreon and members here on YouTube that is going to be exclusive to you guys. That stuff, I'm going to hopefully be able to continue to do that. And I have a poll up in my Patreon right now basically asking what people would like to see cooking-wise, because I plan on doing some cooking stuff. I used to do this thing called Spaced Out Cook Boy, and I plan on bringing some of that stuff back. And right now it looks like grilling and chilling, which is going to be super easy and fun to do. I'm just going to kind of film an entire grill sesh and make a cool little video out of it. So yeah, that will be coming exclusively again to members only here on the YouTubes and Patreon. That will actually be coming to Patreon before members, and then about a day later, that's how I've been doing those. Bobby Hansen coming through here. Good morning, Bobby. Hope you had a great weekend as well. Shweddy, good morning. Yeah, we're going to jump right in here, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm about to go and get some coffee. I will be right back. You guys are freaking amazing. I'm going to have to get some coffee. If I don't, I'm not going to make it. As you can see in my eyes, I didn't go to sleep till probably like 2 in the morning because I'm an idiot. I'm not very smart. And I just jumped out of bed and I was like, man, I got to get this rolling. I got to get this happening right now. I got to get this Murder Church in high gear this morning. Woke up also to seeing, oh man, first of all, True Crime Watcher, Lexi, thank you for that share. I see you got me shared out there this morning. Anybody that could possibly, if you do have an X or Twitter account, give that the old share ski on your end. That would help me out tremendously. Get the word out there. Let the folks know what is happening here at Murder Church this morning. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start her up here. We'll be right back. I'm going to go get some coffee brewing. I'll be watching on my phone. I'll be in the chat on my phone. Kai coming through here, yo, yo, yo. And one thing, the will is still in play as well. I have to get all the old names off of there from Trail Friday and get halfway filled. We have it halfway filled for 6 names currently. RX Girl, I don't know if you saw that. You won a shirt Friday night. I need to get your information, RX Girl. Please get in my, whether that's my email, publiclybuzzed@gmail.com, or whether you get at me through the messaging system on X, Twitter. I need your information, and I need you to go to publiclybuzzed.com and pick a shirt out. Let me know what shirt you want, and let me know where I should send it to. Jay coming through here. Yes, ma'am. Thanks so much for coming through here, setting up one this morning with the portal. Fine folks coming through here. Really appreciate it. Where's the pickles? Happy birthday also, Jay. Welcome in here, brother. Dizzy coming through here. Pokemon coming through here. Pokemon. Shelly in the house. Thank you so much. But yeah, happy birthday, dude. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. You won the first spin on Friday. So yeah, give me all that information. We had 2 winners on Friday night, and we're about halfway to 1 more winner. So we'll see if we can get there today. That comes through anytime anybody gives out memberships, any kind of donation whatsoever, whether that's through the YouTube system here exclusively, or whether you send that through the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all of those good things. But we're going to go ahead and rock and roll, get this started, because I have to go get some coffee. I have to get myself woke up. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. Make sure the sound is correct. Correct.
A nice chat with Philip in the car on the way over there.
Very nice.
He was very nice.
Picking right up where we left off on Tuesday. Again, she's kind of going over. It seems like she had a little bit of a relationship with Phil, actually, where they met inside of a restaurant where she was a waitress, and the vibe on the stand has been a little bit odd with her. Actually, I would say, because there's been some glares or some looks over to the Phil's area, maybe even a little bit of a smile cast. I don't know, weird vibe that I picked up immediately. Everybody else in the chat did as well. So Shazi, Charlotte in the chat also, Oasis Cat, everybody's coming through here. Sarah's coming through here. Hell yeah. Got these folks rolling through here now, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, give this thing the old share. Let people know. Let people know that you're hanging and banging this morning. I'd appreciate it.
By the way, did you see him and Rami leave the grill?
Watching on the phone.
Walk out?
Chatting on the phone.
I don't recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you got into the car, the two of you drove over to Trader Vic's, right?
Correct.
All right. And then when you got to Trader Vic's, as I understand it, you went in and you sat at a table not at the bar, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just take you back 1 second. I actually did forget something, and I apologize for that. Do you have the exhibit in front of you again?
I do.
Okay, I forgot to ask you this. It shows on here that there were 2 daiquiris ordered, correct? With
Correct.
Bacardi Light?
Correct.
Now, as a waitress or as a server, the fact that it shows that 2 Bacardi Light daiquiris were ordered, that's all it shows, correct?
Correct.
So you can't tell us from reading this whether the person who ordered the 2 daiquiris even drank them, correct?
Correct.
All it indicates to you is that these were ordered, not that they were consumed, right?
Correct.
Likewise, for example, for the ginger ale or the Diet Coke. You don't know if those were consumed either.
Nope.
So this exhibit does not teach us anything about the consumption of those 2 alcoholic beverages,
Objection,
correct?
that's an improper question. The exhibit speaks for itself.
I think that that's a proper question. I'll allow it. You may ask.
You may answer. It does not, does it?
No.
Okay. By the way, a daiquiri is, and I'm not a bartender, but a daiquiri, so I understand, is a mixed drink, correct? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And mixed drinks, blended drinks, they have less alcohol in them than straight drinks, don't they?
I believe so.
Okay.
Objection, allegation, speculation.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Stricken. Jury's admonished.
Course indulgence, please.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get back to Trader Vic's if we can, okay? Now, as I understand it, you went to Trader Vic's, you sat at this table in the bar area, And you looked at the menu. Phil was saying to you, gee, would you like to have something to eat, correct?
Yeah.
But you had already had something at the grill, so there had not been a great distance of time between the meal that you had at the grill and now when you were over at Trader Vic's, correct?
Correct.
So you weren't hungry. But he invited you and offered you to order off the menu anything you wanted, right?
Correct.
Okay. And there were some drinks ordered at Trader Vic's, is that right?
Correct.
And do I understand it correctly that you ordered what is called an amaretto sour?
Yes.
Okay. And Philip ordered what is called a Navy grog.
Yes.
And Mr. Jackson asked you, you know what's in a Navy jug or how to make one, and you don't, right?
No.
Okay. You're not a bartender
No,
or
I'm not.
bartenderist. What's politically correct?
Bartender.
Okay, you're not a bartender.
No.
Now, let me just take a moment here and let's talk about Trader Vic's. You were at Trader Vic's for how long a period of time?
Over an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And during that time, as I understand it, you were having a wonderful conversation with Philip, is that right?
That's right.
You talked about his music.
We did.
You talked about his love of music.
We did.
You talked about how he felt so lucky to be in that profession and how really God had been so good to him in the profession, correct?
We did.
You talked about Nicole, didn't you?
Yes.
Who's Nicole?
Nicole.
You know, I'm going to overrule that. Conversations have been brought into play, and certainly what was discussed, I'll allow it.
Okay. You spoke of Nicole.
Nicole is Philip's daughter.
Okay. And you had ongoing conversation for that whole hour or so, didn't you?
Yes.
And you had no problem speaking to Philip, correct?
No.
He had no problem speaking back to you?
No.
The two of you processed each other's words?
Yes.
There was nothing incoherent about what you said to him?
No.
And he said to you?
Correct.
Let me ask you something. When he came to pick you up back at the grill, did he get out of the car and you got in, or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
Okay, but when you arrived at Trader Vic's, both of you got out of the car.
Yes.
And if I recall correctly, let me ask it this way. Did the vehicle pull up into the driveway area in front of the door?
Yes.
And then you have to walk up some stairs, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a little, maybe 15, 20 feet before you hit the front door?
Yes.
Okay. And you and Philip got out of the car, you walked around the car,
Yes.
you walked up the stairs,
Yes.
you walked down the 15 or 20 feet to the front door.
Yes.
Philip opened the door for you, didn't he?
I believe he did.
He's always a gentleman, isn't he?
Yes.
The consummate gentleman.
Yes.
He's very fatherly to you, isn't he?
Very.
Very caring for you, right?
Yes.
And after he opened the door, the two of you went in, were escorted into the bar area, correct?
Yes.
And that's about, what, 20, 25 feet away from the front door?
Yes.
Just roughly.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's dark in there, right?
Very dark.
And you were escorted to the table. He pulled the chair out for you?
I think we're in a booth.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you scooted into the
I
booth.
scooted.
And Philip scooted into the booth, correct? You didn't notice anything unusual about the way Mr. Spector walked or talked during that time with you?
No.
did? Nothing? Mm-mm. Okay. That's a no?
No.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that the way you would describe Philip's mood that evening that you were with him as upbeat, positive, and jovial?
Yes.
Upbeat, positive, and jovial, correct?
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that, in your opinion, the conversation was, and I'm stealing your words here, fantastic?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
It just was. It was great to catch up, and we talked about, all his music stuff, and we talked about American Idol. Just very current events for that time.
Okay. And during the time that you were there, I think you indicated Philip ordered a Navy grog,
Correct.
and you ordered a...
Amaretto sour.
Okay. And nothing was ordered to eat.
No.
Nice conversation.
Yes.
Did you order another drink after the first one?
We both did.
Okay. Do you remember, did you finish your drink or you don't recall?
I did not finish the second drink.
Okay. The first drink, did you, or you don't recall?
Yes.
Okay. You don't recall, do you, whether or not Philip finished his drinks or had any amount of the drink, do you?
I wasn't watching his drinking.
In fact, when you were interviewed by Detective Tomlin and Fournier back in November of 2005, you specifically told him you paid no attention to whether or not he finished his drinks or not, correct?
Correct.
So as you sit here today and share with us, the jury and us, you cannot say whether or not he had any or all of those 2 drinks, correct?
That is correct.
Are you familiar with Philip's habit of sometimes ordering things at restaurants and not consuming them?
Objection, that assumes facts not in evidence.
He asked it if she's familiar, if he does that. That's the way I understood the question. Have you ever seen that happen?
Yeah.
All right, the objection's overruled.
In fact, it's really not uncommon with him, is it? That's no?
Oh, no.
That's okay. No, it's a little different in here.
Yeah.
It's all really for Diane and Cindy because they take this down on that little machine and it all has to come out that way. So, and then they produce a book and we read it, okay? No problem. So, you're there at Trader Vic's, and as I understand it, please bear with me for a moment. You leave at some point, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, may I have a word with Mr. Jackson for a moment?
Yes?
Your Honor, we're going to refer people to 11 now. May I just come up for a second? I don't know the
Yes.
witness now. If not, I'll help. No, you got 10. We'll get you 11. And I just want to visit with you for a moment before we move forward to Dantana's, because that's the next stop, after we take care of your car, right?
Right.
Okay, and I remember, we'll get to that too. Let's take a look at this. This is People's 11, and this is what's known as a invoice, bill?
Dinner check.
Dinner check,
Yeah.
okay. And I know that you don't work at Trader Vic's, and if I ask you a question and it's beyond the scope, you just tell me, okay? Because we do have another witness coming to talk
Yeah.
about this. If you take a look over on the left-hand side, you'll see there's 2 dinner checks, actually. There's one on the left and one on the right, okay? I'm going to reference you and ask you to draw your attention, please, if you would, to the one on the left-hand side. We see a date and a time, do we not?
Correct.
And it shows February 2nd of the year 2003, and the time is 10:41 p.m. in the evening, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And now let's take a look and see what we have. We have 2 Amaretto Sours ordered at $13, correct?
Correct.
And 2 Navy Grogs ordered at $19.50, correct?
Correct.
And then a Diet Coke for $3.25 and a regular Coke for $3.25. Is that right?
Yes.
And Ms. Sullivan, what is the total amount of liquor sales?
$39.
Now again, I'm going to ask you, by looking at this, you cannot tell us how much you consumed or how much Philip consumed. Is that correct? When I say this, I mean People's 11, the check up on the screen. Is that right?
I can tell you what I consumed, but I can't tell you what Philip consumed.
That, you're ahead. You know right where I was going. You know what you consumed, but you can't tell us, as you sit there, whether Philip had any of those Navy Grogs, some of those Navy Grogs, or all of those Navy Grogs, correct?
We had some.
So, okay. Didn't affect his ability to talk with you that night, did it?
Not at all.
And he didn't stop being a gentleman to you, did he?
Not at all.
He's very old-fashioned that way, isn't he?
Very old-fashioned.
Very mannerly, yes.
Yes.
So let's take a look. Under liquor sales, there's a line that says gratuity, correct?
Correct.
So we have a total bill of $39. And most people, what, tip between 15 and 30%, somewhere in there?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. What's the temperature here?
150.
It's a little more than 30%, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings the total charges to $192.22?
Yes.
Okay. And let's look at the...
Woo! Everybody coming through here. Thank you so much. Murder Church on the air. Still got my coffee upstairs brewing. I brought a few other goodies down here to get me through this morning. Thanks everyone for coming through here. I've been seeing some more folks as I've been monitoring the chat upstairs come through. Tara and Dusty coming through here. What else coming through here? I saw some other names come through here. Bonnie Bailey. Yeah, Bonnie Bailey, don't forget to get with me on the shirt that you won as well. Tina coming through here. Young Black Economist coming through here. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming through here. We're going to be rocking probably till about 12:30, 1 o'clock. We'll see how this plays out. If we can get that far, hopefully we can get that far, and we'll keep rocking and rolling. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging and banging this morning. Let's go. I'm going to go upstairs and see if my coffee's ready. Should be getting close.
very bottom line, you see where it says 8:23 closed February 3rd?
Yes.
And it says 12 o'clock a.m.,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Does that in any way assist you in kind of remembering when you left Trader Joe's? If it doesn't, that's fine.
I know we left pretty much as soon as those second drinks were served. That I know.
Okay.
Because we asked for the check. The drinks were served and we asked for the check.
Okay. And you left shortly thereafter.
Correct.
So let me ask you, when you left, Ms. Sullivan, would I be correct in assuming that you just kind of had to retrace your paces, get up out of the booth, walk to the front door through the dark area, cross the front entryway, go down the steps, get in the car?
Philip went to the restroom.
Okay. And so did you, didn't you?
I think I did. I don't remember.
Okay. You remember telling officers Tomlin and Fournier that you did go to the...
If I did tell them, I did.
Okay.
I just don't remember.
That's fine.
When I went to the bathroom 4 years ago.
All right. You and I'll have that conversation after court today outside. All right. So, all right. At any rate, after you and he went to the bathroom, you folks got back into the car, correct?
We did.
When Philip got up out of the booth, did he fall down?
No.
When he stood up and walked through the darkened area, the hallway area, to get to the front where the hostess is, did he fall down?
No.
Did he stumble?
No.
You didn't need to assist him in walking,
No.
did you? When you walked outside, he opened the door for you?
I believe he did.
Okay. Didn't have any trouble opening that door, did he?
No.
And he had no trouble with his motor skills walking down the front ramp area, down the flight of stairs, to the driveway area, getting in and shutting the door before you, he, and Adriana left Trader Vic's. That's a fair statement, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So now we get to the point where we've left Trader Vic's, but we have a little bit of a problem. And the problem is that he wants to take you to Dantana's, but you have a car which is parked back at the grill on the street, correct?
Correct.
And you're concerned about that because A, you don't want it towed.
Correct.
And B, even though it's in Beverly Hills, you don't want it stolen. It's going to be there for a while. And you wanted to get it back to your house, correct?
Correct.
And your house, as I understand it, is very close to the House of Blues.
Correct.
Don't tell us the address.
I'm not going to.
Please do not. But it's in that area, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the West Hollywood area?
Correct.
All right. So you explained this situation to Philip, and Philip basically said, look, Kathy, no problem. We'll go back. We're in the car. We'll go back to the grill to your car. You can get in your car, drive it home. Adriana.
Yeah, Pokemon Shelly's out here calling it the way it is, baby. Huh? Huh? Because I've got to start the bells.
I'm telling you like it is,
this morning.
baby.
That's the only way to really start church. Get in here. Get in your seats. Murder Church. Service has commenced, but the bells are happening late. Please forgive me. Welcome in here, everybody. Thanks again for hanging and banging this morning. I appreciate the shit out of it. Murder Church is happening. It is a happening.
I will follow you in our car.
Coffee cooled down a little
You can
bit.
park your car at home so it'll be safe.
I'm going to get the new names on the wheel here from Friday. We're about halfway full.
That was fine.
Okay, and that's what you did.
That's what we did.
Okay. And you drove from where you live to Dantana's with Philip, right?
Correct.
Had a good time in the car with him. It was a short drive,
Yeah,
wasn't
short
it?
drive.
Real short, just a matter of minutes, correct?
Correct.
Nice conversation going on.
Very nice.
Okay, so we now get to Dantana's. And as I understand it, when you get to Dantana's, you get out of the vehicle, and you and Philip enter, is that right?
Correct.
And when you go in there, you're greeted by the host or the hostess. I think it was a host.
Host.
The host. Did you know him?
I met him before.
Okay. Actually, there was somebody else in there that evening that you knew. I think another
Someone
server.
from work.
I'm sorry. That's okay. Another server from the grill, right?
Correct.
You're getting good at this.
Sorry.
And you saw him there also, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I think what you said in your direct examination is that the host took Philip and yourself and escorted the two of you back to his booth, correct?
Correct.
And when you said his booth, would you explain to the jury what you meant, please?
It would be his regular table.
Okay. And how did you know that was his regular table?
Because that's where he was sat the night that I met him, and on a previous occasion when I met he and Susan for dinner.
Okay. And so you folks sat down, is that right?
Yes.
And as I understand it, he went to the bathroom.
Correct.
And do you recall, you went to the bathroom at Dantana's also, did you?
No.
Okay. When he came back from the bathroom, he made a statement to you, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. And wasn't it something along the lines of, why do people always want to talk to you when you're in the men's room, correct?
Correct.
And why is there such rude and odd behavior? All I want to do is go to the bathroom and they want to talk to me, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And it really wasn't done in an aggressive, nasty manner. It was just almost jovial, funny, wasn't it?
It was.
You laughed?
Yeah.
Okay. Philip has quite a wit, doesn't he? He has quite a wit.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
quite a
It'd be
rip.
very funny.
Very.
That man's got a ripcord, I'll tell you right now. You pull that son of a bitch and he won't stop, Daddy.
Funny.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
May I have the court's indulgence for just a quick moment here, please?
Dally Talk, what's up, Dally? Coming through here, man. Appreciate it, dude.
So you folks are seated now at the
Sting driver.
booth, am I right? It's a booth?
Come in and
Yes.
At
everybody.
Dantana's, correct?
Correct.
And how long, Miss Sullivan, do you remember being at Dantana's that evening with
The son of a bitch is smiling. Oh, God in heaven.
Mr. Spector? I'm not trying to put you, as they say, on the clock, but
Creepy
just-
motherfucker,
Just
dude.
kind of think about it for a moment and give us your best guess.
Almost 2 hours.
All right.
That's what I heard.
So you're there almost 2 hours. And during the time you're there, as I understand it, Philip places an order for you, correct?
Correct.
He orders some drinks, right?
Correct.
You order a drink or drinks, correct?
Correct.
And there's also food ordered, right?
Correct.
I think you said a salad, right?
Yes.
And as I understand it, there's a famous salad called the Dantana salad, is that
That's
right?
the
And it's kind of
salad.
like a chopped salad with all kinds of things in it, right?
Correct.
And that's what he ordered, right?
Yes.
And did he order one or two?
1.
Okay. And that was for the two of you to split, right?
Correct.
All right. And in fact, you did split it. You ate a little more of it than he did. He kind of picked at it, but you both ate it, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a pretty big salad, isn't it?
It is a big salad.
Yeah. It's
This
not
man's wonderful at painting a picture with his stories, telling, dear God, Rosin. Spielberg up here. Good Lord.
It's not a salad that two people could split and enjoy it, and in terms of the quantity.
It's a dinner salad.
Okay.
Yeah, big salad.
Whoa, Schweddy gonna pick up one of them sons of bitches. Get the hell in here, Schweddy. Hell yeah. And thank you, Jersey Jen, for doing it. Get in here. Hell yeah. We get them beers in the chats. Get them probably nothings in the chats. Some little mini tornadoes up there. Jay just popped up. Thank you so much, Jersey Jen. Your name is now on the wheel. It's going to be joining. I can show you guys. Going to be joining Holly, Barry, MJ, Wildside, and then Miss Lisa. Those are left over from Friday night from all the donations we were getting over on Kick. We fill that thing up again here today. We'll have another spin for some more free merchandise. Thank you so much, Jersey Jen.
Now, Your Honor, I need the court's indulgence for a moment, please.
Right?
Okay. So we're now at Dantana's. We're there a couple of hours. And as I understand it, I think you indicated that Philip wanted to order something called a Navy grog. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And
Had to look up the Navy grog on
the
Tuesday.
server did not know what that was, so he had the bartender come over.
Correct.
And the bartender didn't know what it was.
Bartender's like, I never heard
So
of that in my
Philip
life.
ordered a
bud.
daiquiri.
Yes.
And you ordered a?
Amaretto sour.
Okay. And do you recall, were those drinks served?
Yes.
All right. And would it be pretty much a replay of what you've already described for us occurred over at Trader Vic's? More conversation, having a really nice time. Philip remains in the jovial, fun mood. He's upbeat. He's positive, things of that.
I'm going to pause this again because why the fuck not? Dan, last night at like 3 in the morning, did some crazy shit. He made an AI-generated song for the new Hot 2 girl, and I'm just going to play it here for just a second. I believe I can get away with it because he literally created this song from nothing. Hold on, we're taking a little break early here. I'm feeling a little wild. What did he do here? What did Dan do?
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck and spit on that thing.
Hey girl, how you keep it burning? Smoking all the time. Oh, yeah. How you make him lose his mind? Make his heart in class. She said, baby, it's simple. Just let me explain. You got a heart to spit on that thing. Spit fire love. Oh, you got to bring the
Exclusive Dandy Savage edit, baby.
Walk to it. Get wild, get off your seat. Get up, spit on that thing. Feel the rhythm and repeat. One more time, y'all. Keep it funky, keep it raw.
Completely AI-generated song right now.
He was dreaming of candy, looking for some sweet delight. But she brought that fire, kept him up all night. She said, ain't no secret to this passionate game. You got it now. You got a heart to spit on that thing. Spit fire love. Oh, you got to bring the heat. Bring the heat now. Walk to it. Get wild, get off your seat. Get up, spit on that thing. Feel the rhythm and repeat. One more time, y'all. Keep it funky, keep it raw. Don't retreat. Ooh, yeah. Keep it spicy, keep it tight. Every single night, every night. Take a sip of that love liquor. Set it right, set it right.
Sip of that love liquor, huh? Oh,
Spit it.
gotta spit on that thing.
Ain't no nursery rhyme, it's a grown-up game. You feel me? Spit fire love. Oh, you got to bring the heat. Bring the heat now. Talk to it. Get wild, get off your seat. Get up, spit on that thing. Feel the rhythm and repeat. One more time, y'all. Keep it funky, keep it raw. Don't retreat. Ooh, yeah.
Dan out here killing it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Go give this a share also, please. Give it. I'm going to give it another share. I gave it a quote share earlier. Give it another repost there. Dan out here killing it. An AI, complete AI generated song that Dan, I'm sure he put the lyrics in there. I don't know what the hell happened, but he killed that shit is what he did. Let me get the sound back on here before I ruin that part. My God.
Once again, over that
Spit on
2-hour
that
period,
thing.
you didn't have any trouble conversing with him, did you?
No.
You spoke with him freely.
Yes.
He spoke back to you freely.
Yes.
You understood what he was saying to you?
Yes.
And he apparently understood by his responses what you were saying to him.
Yes.
And during that time, Philip didn't spill anything that was on the table. He didn't knock any glasses over or knock any food onto the table, did he?
Nope.
Didn't fall out of the booth, did he? Okay. Bottom line was this. Throughout the evening, Philip was never drunk, was he?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained without a foundation.
Okay. You were with Philip. I understand. Let me rephrase. From the time that you were with Philip, he certainly was not drunk at Trader Vic's, right?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
I think you
Raised.
sustained, you just need to lay a foundation.
Okay. You've seen people who are drunk before, correct?
Yes.
You've seen it in your business, in your profession, correct?
Yes.
All right. In your mind, when you think of somebody being drunk,
God.
it's the way they behave in a general sense, correct?
Correct.
It's their speech. It's how they handle their motor skills. It's what they do, what they say, things of that nature, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Spector wasn't behaving that way at Trader Vic's, was he?
No.
Now, let's get to Dantana's. At Dantana's, as I understand, you're there for a couple of hours. You have the salad, you split the salad, he picks at it, you eat more of it. The drinks are ordered. At another point, are more drinks ordered?
Yes.
Okay. And how many more drinks are ordered?
Apparently another round.
Okay. And as I understand it, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I know it is late in the day and the air gets difficult in here towards the end. We've got about 15 minutes left. We'll see if we can complete so you don't have to come back, all right?
Okay.
If you need a break, you let us know.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
You're welcome.
Listen, Rosin, you son of a bitch, I'm fine.
Once again, you can't tell us, as you said
Oh,
here
you're not used
now,
to
whether
talking
or
to
not
females.
Philip consumed all of the first drink at Daiquiri, can you?
No.
You're used to yelling at females.
A second round was ordered. How long was that second round? Bad question, very bad question. Once the second round was ordered and delivered to the table, how soon thereafter did the two of you folks leave?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall whether or not you finished your second drink?
I believe I did not.
And Philip really never even took any sip even out of the second drink, did he? He really sort of focused on the Diet Coke there, didn't he?
I was not watching what he was drinking.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. So once again, as to either the first or second drink, you have no idea how much he drank.
Yeah,
Correct.
Rosin just sees what normal, regular people do, and he observes it, and then he takes notes. They asked if she was tired. Maybe I'll try that.
But what you do know is that there was no change in your ability to chat with him, and the fun that was going on in the evening continued.
Correct.
All right.
Shit. Jay coming in hot this morning. Welcome in here. BGOG. Nice.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, brother. We ain't messing around, son. We ain't messing around, son. I'll hell with all of them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, brother. Jay, name on the wheel, bud. Hell yeah. Jay's going to get a shirt. Or a beanie or a hat. You can pick anything you want from the
Now-
merch store.
I think you indicated at some point you guys decided to leave. Is that right?
Yes.
And you left by getting
Oh,
out
dude,
of
that
the
would be
booth,
cool if you
walking
went
to
on
the
his
front
birthday.
and going outside in the front area, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Drew, good morning, man.
Now, I understand before that happened that there were 3 to 4 men seated at a table next to you. Is that right?
Yes.
Younger men? Well, doesn't. Let me take that question. I'll withdraw that question. There were 3 or 4 gentlemen next to you, and as you... Yes? Not gentlemen?
No, they were clearly drunk.
Okay. I was going to say, you used the term inebriated.
Yeah.
Tell me what that means to you and just tell me what you saw. How did they behave? How did they act?
Like idiots.
What did they do?
They were acting like drunk frat boys.
Okay. And at some point, as I understand it, one of them leaned over and said to Philip, "How you doing?" Right?
I believe, or what's your name? Something like that.
Well, let me ask you this.
How you doing? I don't know.
Let me see if I can refresh your memory. You spoke with Mr. Forney and Tomlin twice, once in '03 and once in November of '05, correct? Two detectives from Los Angeles Sheriff's Department.
I recall talking once.
Okay. Do you remember telling them that the first
more than
thing
tabby cat.
that one of these fellas said was, "Hey, how you doing?"
Get in.
And Philip said,
Get
"I'm
the
doing
hell in
fine."
here.
And then the next question is, "What's your name?"
Hang
He said-
sesh going down.
He says, "Philip."
Right.
And then, is that correct?
Yeah.
And then Philip said to him, "What's yours?" Right?
Yeah.
And the gentleman said something, correct?
Yes.
And then he asked your name, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you did what? You ignored him, didn't you?
I kept eating.
Okay. No answer, right?
No.
It would be fair to say that you were really not enjoying them being next to you, were you?
No.
They were loud.
Yes.
They were drunk.
Yes.
They were obnoxious.
Yes.
But Philip, when engaged by them, was very pleasant with them, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so let's go back outside. We're on the sidewalk now, and you're getting ready to leave, correct?
Correct.
Now, Ms. Sullivan, do I understand this right? At Trader Vic's, Philip never mentioned the House of Blues to you, right?
No.
When you were at Dantana's, inside eating, splitting the salad, he never mentioned the House of Blues.
I think he did.
He did, okay.
Yeah.
So he mentioned going there inside the Dantana's. But it wasn't
Is that a
until you...
yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Sorry.
But it wasn't actually until you entered the vehicle with Philip when he said, "Let's go to the house."
Yes.
Okay. It seemed, did it not, that it was kind of a instantaneous thing. It wasn't something that he had planned. He just popped into his mind, and your impression.
That calls for
The objection is sustained.
I'll rephrase it. What was your impression, whether or not Mr. Spector had given that a lot of thought, or was just an idea that came to him and he invited you?
same objection.
Same ruling.
Okay. At any rate, before the car comes, as I understand it, you said that one of these gentlemen, or all of them, were out on the sidewalk waiting for their car?
2 were still inside negotiating the bill. So I guess maybe 3 were outside. I
Okay.
think there were 5, maybe there were 4. So
And as I understand it, you said that they were really obnoxious when they were negotiating the bill. They were complaining that they were being overcharged.
yeah,
Okay. And Philip then said, let's go.
correct.
All right. Was it your impression you didn't want any part of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get out on the sidewalk, and one of these other fellas starts to approach Philip, doesn't he?
Yes.
And he starts to say something, doesn't he?
Like the
The
Beatles
other
suck.
Philip. Okay. And as I understand
Phil
it,
just went off. Phil
Philip-
was unmanageable. He pulled out 3 or 4 different guns in 2 hands. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it looked like to me.
may have said something you don't recall or you didn't hear it. Am I correct?
Yeah, I do remember what the fellow said to Philip.
What did the fellow
He
say?
apologized for his friend inside.
Okay. And Philip just looked at him, right?
Yeah.
You said he stood his ground and he gave him a stare, is that
Yes.
right? Like just back off, leave us alone, correct?
Yeah.
God, could you imagine the stare from Phil?
You didn't take it that Philip was challenging this fellow to fight, did you?
No.
How big was this guy?
Don't forget, we got a
I
continuous
don't
live
recall.
shot of
Let me ask you
the
this one.
ghoul.
He certainly was a lot bigger than Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't that he was challenging me. It was more of a gentlemanly thing. Back off, leave us alone. I'm with Kathy.
Yeah.
Okay. He was protecting you, correct?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained.
What was in Mr. Spector's mind?
Did you feel that he was protecting you? In a sense.
No.
Okay. Thought you could take care of yourself if something happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So the
All
two of
right,
you get in the
Rosie.
car, correct?
Gee, this guy
Correct.
sucks.
And then I understand the first thing he does is apologize to you on their behalf, right?
Yes.
He says, I'm sorry, no disrespect meant, and you said no disrespect taken.
Right.
And that kind of folds into, if it does not, the fact that he is very much a gentleman.
Morning, Brooklyn.
He didn't know these fellows, did he?
No.
Yes, that's awesome. The good words
Now,
being spread this
When you
morning.
get back in the car, and you're now going to leave Trader Vic's, and you're going to go to the House of Blues, it's getting pretty darn late, isn't it?
Yes.
What are we looking at time-wise, Miss Sullivan? About close to 2?
Correct.
You were exhausted.
Yes.
You had been up since early morning, I believe? like
Yes.
6 a.m.?
Yes.
You had a full day.
Yes.
You worked.
Yes.
And you really wanted to go home. Is that a
Yes.
fair statement?
Yes.
As I understand it, my impression was when I heard you testify was that you said okay because you knew that it was close to closing time and you thought, we'll get there and basically the door will be shut and then it'll be fine, nice evening, thank you, I'm going to go home and climb in bed and get to sleep because that's what I really want to do, correct?
Correct.
All right. In fact, as I understand your testimony on direct examination, you indicated that when you ordered a water, at that time Philip said, basically, this is obviously time for you to go home, correct?
Correct.
And I think you also had indicated at some point that if you had knowing that all it would have taken was to order a bottle of water, you would have ordered the bottle of water earlier on in the evening, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you drive up, not you personally, you're in the vehicle, but the vehicle drives from Dantana's up to the House of Blues, correct?
Correct.
And that's very, very close, is it not?
Yes.
What do you think, a couple minutes to get there maybe?
5 minutes.
Okay. You and Philip were seated in the vehicle?
Correct.
And you and Philip were
Kelly,
chatting, right?
Kelly Bobelli coming in hot this morning. Hell yeah. Sent $10. Thank you so much. Sunday services. That's what I'm talking about. Sent that through the, I'm not sure if it went through the Venmo or the Cash App here, but one of those. Oh, the Venmo. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Kelly, for hitting me with the Venmo. Appreciate it. Your name is going on the wheel, baby.
Correct.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Hold up! Hold up! Hold up! And it's still a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what happens. You get to the House of Blues, is that right?
Really?
Correct.
All right.
Blasphemy.
And let me just find myself in my notes here. It's late in the day. Hold on. All right. As I understand it, Adriano is driving, and you're seated with Philip in the car.
Correct.
And you get to the House of Blues, and I think you said you go down the driveway, correct?
Morning, Kathy.
Correct.
Get
But
in there.
as you're going down the driveway, you notice something, right?
Yes.
What do you notice? Tell us.
Well, it's empty now.
What do you mean by empty now?
The parking
Explain
lot.
what you saw.
The parking lot, there were cars leaving.
Okay.
It appeared almost empty.
People coming out?
Yes, correct.
Waiting for their cars, cars driving them?
Yeah.
So it was pretty clear that it was closing time.
Yes.
And you were thinking, oh,
Closing
it's closing time, I'm going to get to go home and go to sleep.
Correct.
All right. But you drive down the driveway and you get out of the vehicle.
Yes.
And as I understand it, when you get out of the vehicle, you get out and Mr. Spector gets out.
Correct.
Philip and you walk over to the House of Blues, the structure itself from the driveway, right?
Yes.
And as I understand it, you said he was looking for the elevator, right?
Yes.
And then I think you said an employee came up. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the employee stated, can I help you? And Philip says something, in fact, we want to go up to the foundation room and the elevator isn't working. And the employee says, I'm sorry, it's turned off, correct? Or it's closed, it's not working.
He tried to get the elevator working too, and I guess we all figured out that it had been turned off.
That had been turned off.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as I understand it at that point,
Great
he then
minds.
escorted you and Philip up to the foundation room by using the stairwell, correct?
Correct.
When you and Philip are at the elevator, and it's determined that the elevator doesn't work, or it's been closed or turned off or whatever, Philip didn't get angry, did he?
No.
Didn't say a word, right?
No. He just kept pushing the button.
Right. The gentleman, the employee said, we can go up the stairs, and Mr. Spector and you follow him right to the stairwell, and up you go, correct?
Correct.
This was not one flight of stairs, was it?
No.
This was not two flights of stairs, was it?
No.
This was three
Yes.
full flights of stairs, correct?
Yes.
And you walked up?
Correct.
The employee walked up?
Yep.
Was there anybody else that walked up it with you?
Philip.
Thank you. When you got to the top, I think you indicated there is kind of like a hallway area, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then he escorts you over to the foundation room area, the employee does, and he then disappears.
Yes.
Okay, and let's take a moment and look at People's 13, the House of Blues receipt, if we could, please. See?
Damn, Sarah. That's the truth, though. That's the damn truth. I'm sorry. What do you want to do? You want to leave me? Very carefully, Shelley. I get it in my mustache a lot, which I've trimmed it up, but it's still...
Can you see that okay, Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
I know you don't work for the House of Blues and certainly didn't work there on February 2nd, correct? Excuse me, February 3rd, pardon me. Certainly not at 1:59 in the morning. And you see here that if you look at it, there is the date of February 3rd of 03 at 1:59 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. And it shows that there was an order for one Bacardi 151 for $8.50, correct?
Correct.
And one bar bottle of water for $5.
Yeah.
Total $13.50, correct?
Yes.
All right. That's your bottle of water, right?
Yeah, I never got the water.
And Philip never got the Bacardi.
So why are they charging
Objection,
it?
it's calls for
Sorry.
The objection sustained, the witness's answer is stricken, the jury's admonished to disregard.
All right. Did you ever receive the water? Do you know whether Philip ever received the card?
Objection calls for
Ask
speculation.
if she knows. She may have a basis for knowing, I don't know.
I'll withdraw it until
Okay.
I get the answer, I suppose.
All right.
You don't know whether he...
I don't know, I left.
Okay. So not only do you know if he didn't get it, you don't even know if it was served, if he had any, right?
Correct.
You were gone.
I was gone.
Okay. So they charged Phil for a bottle of water that he never got.
Yeah.
Would you take a look? The subtotal is how much?
$13.50.
And do you see service charges underneath that, the next line down?
I do.
2007 prices.
Would I be correct in assuming in your profession service charges is equivalent, or it's a synonym term for?
So it's interesting. I think this is California, even Los Angeles. So like a Bacardi 151, $8.50. That's like a today price here in West Virginia. So I bet in California now that's like a $20 drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of a service charge did
I
Mr.
could be completely
Spector
off.
place on his account at the House of Blues that morning?
$450.
$450.
$450.
Okay. And so the total payment was how much?
Objection, Your Honor, this all calls for speculation. She doesn't know.
All she can say is,
Is what's on the exhibit?
well, the exhibit speaks for itself. She can testify as to her general knowledge of the industry, and that's as far as it goes from this witness on this particular
And
bill.
my objection to the exhibit is it doesn't speak for itself because there's
It
no
speaks for
foundation
itself
for it.
only to the extent that it says service charge. She knows what a service, but the people, either one of you can bring in the people from the house.
Correct. I expect that this will happen. I think that
I know.
Mr. Rosen is putting
Alan
the cart
Jackson.
before the horse.
Quite possibly, if we could move forward.
Arguing with Judge Dowhard. Huh?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
The total charge then is $463.50, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Your Honor, it is four, and I do have...
It is, but it depends how much longer you have to go. I'd like to complete this witness before she has to come back.
Yeah, I'd like to, too.
How much time do you think you need?
I may need 20 to 30 minutes. And it is...
Are you going to have any redirect?
I will, Judge.
We should break for the day then.
Okay.
All right. We're going to need to have you come back on Monday at 9:30. Okay, you'll be the first witness. And just remember not to discuss the case with anyone except the attorneys in the case. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind the admonition. We'll see you Monday morning at 9:30. Thank you. You may step down. Thank you. Alternates have left. Was there something you wanted to put on the record?
Some more stuff
Mr.
to
Jackson?
I just want to have a couple of witnesses ordered back
Okay.
for Monday morning.
Camera on.
Ed, why don't you?
Mr. Chai Rapata.
A little housekeeping here before the end of the day.
Mr. Ming Fong Chu, Your Honor.
All right. You can give the spelling to the reporter, and we'll order them back for what, 10 o'clock perhaps?
Oh, is that the tip? I missed that. Holy shit, that's a fat fucking tip.
10 o'clock Monday morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. You're ordered back at that time.
Yeah, just for the
Yes.
scheduling for next week, we're going to confirm with Dr. Lee, try to be here Wednesday afternoon at 1:30.
And if so, then the jury will not be in session at 1:30.
Right, and of course, it's subject to him finishing his testimony on Tuesday, so I don't...
I understand that, and we know
Welcome
that
in,
Thursday
Routine.
we will not be in session. I will be gone the entire day.
I wanted to know whether that was still the case.
That is I checked today. It is the case. I will be gone for the entire day on Thursday. Okay.
All right, very good.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I found those pictures are posted on the internet that goes to your Diners Club members. Like,
Oh,
picture, could you
I'm
have
so-
those whited out before
I don't see do we have a public information officer still here from the court? Thank you. Would you see that the exhibits that we're making available to the media, if they have credit card numbers, are to be taken off? And any receipts and things like that?
I believe I've been...
Hey, morning, Rachel.
Looking at it, sir.
Welcome in
I
here.
think I looked at those. It's been about a year for that purpose. I don't think anything...
We just want to make sure. We're just...
They're on, two of them are both on the Diners Club.
Okay.
You can see, well, there for a moment, Phil Spector has an army, a fleet of defense attorneys.
It's up there, and I didn't realize it, and it's being broadcast all over the world. Those numbers are up there.
And you may want to change accounts, who knows? But at any event, we'll do what we can.
Okay, and Judge, there's one other issue that I'd like to join Mr. Rosen at the bench.
Come on up. Come on up.
There's Alan Jackson. All right, we're going to go into the next one here. And yeah, Kathy Sullivan is not going anywheres. We've got another hour and a half with Miss Sullivan here as Rosin will finish on Cross. And then, yeah, Alan Jackson will have some more as well.
Morning.
Thank you for returning.
Thanks, everyone, for hanging out this morning. Really appreciate it. If you have not, hit the like ski. Really helps us out here. Like to throw that up there as a reminder, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Give it a share if you have not. Also, always post this out, and I'll probably be doing another post here momentarily on Twitter, on X, to try to just keep the word flowing. If you see that, give it a share. Let folks know. Let people know that you're hanging out, trying to spread the word of the good church. The good word. Thanks, guys. Oh, and hold on real quick. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I do want to do this right here. I know RX Girl was trying to find out how to gift a membership, but she's a member, and she's been a member for 1 month. Thank you so much, RX Girl, who is also a t-shirt winner. She just won a shirt. I'm going to put some more information in the chat here for you, but go to publiclybuzzed.com. I'm about to link that as well. Pick anything on that merch on the merch site that you would like, and you will get that free of charge. I will send that right to you since you won on the wheel. And again, the wheel continues to fill up. We're still about 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 slots. I think that's 5, maybe 6. 1, 2, oh no, I think it's 6. 6 slots shy of the next spin here. And RX Girl's going on there again. She's like, hey, you know what? I want another shirt or hat, or maybe a Murder Church beanie. I'm going to put you on here live in, I just got to add a couple more here, but so I don't forget, and so I don't have to get up and actually grab the wheel. But yeah, getting in there, RX Girl. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And everybody that's come through here. This was actually, even before we started, Jennifer J25, been a member for 9 months, lurking in replay crew for 9 months. That's fucking awesome. I know there's lurkers out there. I know there's a lot of replay crew that comes through on Murder Church after the fact. Every one of you guys, thank you so fucking much. That's dope as hell. That's so cool. Growing the Murder Church fam, baby. This rules. Yeah, let's jump back in here, and we're going to keep rocking and rolling. That's part of the reason why I also did add a second Murder Church day. Murder Church is popping.
Just so we can pick up where we left off last Thursday afternoon.
You're on that wheel again, baby.
Had you at the point
in your
testimony
Charlene,
where you had arrived at the House
morning.
of Blues with Mr. Spector. You had left Dantana's. It was approaching the closing hour, the bewitching hour. And as I understand it, you and Mr. Spector got out of the vehicle, you went over to the elevator area, and the elevators were either not working or turned off. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then as I understand your testimony, in order to get upstairs, and let me back up here a moment, am I correct that the foundation room, it's not on the first floor or the second floor, it's up on the third floor, correct?
Yes.
And am I also correct that within the foundation room there is another private room called the Buddha room? Is that correct also?
The Buddha room.
That's correct.
Okay. So then, as I understand it, this gentleman,
place that's going to be called
he
the Booty
escorted
room.
you
probably
and Mr. Spector up from the first floor through the stairwell up to the third floor where the foundation and Buddha rooms are located. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And I think you told us that Mr. Spector had no trouble getting upstairs whatsoever.
No.
Okay. Am I correct also that when he got upstairs and you got upstairs, you walked the 3 flights of stairs, he thanked the employee who escorted the 2 of you up there, isn't that right?
I do recall that.
Okay. So you're now in the foyer of the area where the foundation room is, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, as I understand it, you have never testified previously in the grand jury, is that correct?
No, I haven't.
Never saw the grand jury, right?
No.
Okay. This is the first time you're giving testimony under oath in this case, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's pick up from the point where you are now.
This guy. I fucking hate this
in
guy.
the
You can tell that
entryway
he's
area
I can't even say some of these.
the third
Fuck
floor,
Rosin.
about to go into the foundation room. And
Creepy
as I understand
bastard.
it, somebody approaches, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And who was it that was approached, or who approached?
It was Miss Clarkson.
Hell yeah, Jersey Gin. On that
Had you
list,
ever
baby.
met Miss Clarkson before? You
Fuck
had
yeah.
not, had you?
No, I hadn't.
And as far as you know, Mr. Spector had never met Miss Clarkson
No,
previously.
it didn't appear so.
We gotta
Sorry.
not talk at the same time, or Diana will
Jeannie, welcome
take
in
my
here.
tie and hoist me up at the end of the day, okay? It's called sounding, and it's very difficult. So let me just finish my question, and I'll let you finish your answer. As far as you knew,
Like, he
Mr.
can't
Spector
not
had never
be
met
like
Lana Clarkson
Like,
previously.
I get what he's saying there. He's 100% correct, but man, you could tell. Like, he's trying extra hard to be nice to her because she actually has a few good things that seemingly to say about Phil Spector, right? He didn't want to ruin the good the good word that's already kind of sort of come out here for the jury. The only good words that's come out here for the jury so far. So he's like trying to like dance around not being an absolute cocksucker, but then we can still just tell that he's an absolute fucking cock. I hate him. I hate him.
That's right.
He had never spoken to you about her, right?
No.
Okay.
Good morning, Chrissy. Yeah, his tone, it's condescending as hell.
By the way, there is when you got up to the third floor area, there's a door there before you go in, isn't that correct?
Everybody felt
I
it.
can't remember.
We're all on the same
if
page
it's
here.
A door
Thank
or
God.
an archway that just.
I hate it.
It's definitely a different.
I feel it in my soul.
A room off of a hallway.
Okay, and as I understand it, Mr. Spector opened that door for you, correct?
I guess he did. I just don't remember the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
At any rate, you enter
Use
into
them all.
the
That's what I'm talking about. All the
foyer
emojis.
area. Miss Clarkson comes up, and Miss Clarkson says something to Mr. Spector, doesn't she?
She does.
What does she say?
She said that we couldn't come in
Okay. And did she indicate to you why you couldn't come in?
Lord.
because we didn't have any badges on and it was a private party.
All right. And she informed you of that, is that correct?
Yes, she did.
And as I understand it, Mr. Spector said to Miss Clarkson that all he wanted to do was use the restroom, right?
Correct.
All right. And you needed to use the restroom also, correct?
Yes, I did.
So both of you went to the restroom and Miss Clarkson permitted that, is that right?
Yes.
Let me ask you, how was Miss Clarkson dressed that evening? Do you recall?
I just recall a lot of black.
Okay. And do you recall how she had her hair, how she was wearing her hair that evening?
Her hair was down.
Down. And did you notice anything unusual, say like any type of jewelry or anything of that nature?
Did not notice at all.
Okay. So she informs you can't come in because it's a private party and no badges are being worn. And you and Mr. Spector used the respective restrooms, and then I would understand you came back together again after using the restroom. Is that a fair statement?
I came back after him.
Okay. He had already used the restroom previously.
Correct.
And where was he?
In the doorway.
All right. And did you join with him in the doorway?
Yes, I did.
And was
Oh,
Miss
Pete.
Clarkson there at that time?
Morning,
Yes.
morning.
And then what
Let
happened?
me get this wheel.
There was another man that had approached her and was whispering something. And at that point, she said we could come in.
Okay. The gentleman that approached her, was this a black gentleman?
Correct.
And there was something distinguishing about this gentleman with his hair?
He had dreads.
Okay. When you say dreads, you mean he had dreadlocks?
Correct.
Okay. And you observed him speaking with Miss Clarkson, is that correct?
I did.
All right. And after he spoke with Miss Clarkson, she brought you and Mr. Spector into the foundation room, is that correct?
Yes, she did.
Where did she take you to? Where did she escort you to?
Upstairs to a little room.
All right. And how long did it take you? What was the distance between the front door area, the foyer area where you and Mr. Spector met, and the little room where she took you to? Are we talking about 10 feet, 20 feet? What is the distance?
Probably from here to the table.
It's about 11, 15 feet, depending upon where what point of the table it is.
Okay. When you say the table, you mean counsel's table?
Correct.
Mr. Jackson, Mr. Dixon's table?
Yes.
All right. And it's dark in there, I assume?
Very dark.
Okay. And when you got over to that particular point in the room, then what happened?
We went up a short flight of stairs.
All right. 3 or 4 steps, something like that?
I guess.
Okay.
I don't recall the number.
And once you negotiated the stairs, then where'd you go to?
We were in the room.
All right. And is Miss Clarkson still with you?
Yes, she was.
And she's escorting you, correct?
Yes.
And once you got up the 3 or 4 flights of stairs, then what happened?
We sat down on the couch.
All right. And did Miss Clarkson lead you to the couch, escort you to the couch?
I believe she did.
By the way, the 3 or 4 steps that you had to negotiate to get up to the little room, Mr. Spector walked up those steps, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And he didn't fall down, did he?
No.
Didn't slip, correct?
Correct.
And didn't stumble?
Nope.
Okay. And so you get to the couch, and what happens when you get to the couch?
The cocktail waitress appeared and asked us what we wanted to order to drink.
Before she appeared, do you recall Miss Clarkson saying to both of you, if you need anything, I'm Lana, this is last call, just let me know?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Let me ask you this. After Miss Clarkson spoke, we'll strike that. After the gentleman with the dreads spoke to Miss Clarkson, did you know any difference, any discernible difference in the way she spoke to you and Mr. Spector?
Yes.
What'd you notice?
Well, the dialogue was always very professional, but it was now much more friendly and welcoming.
From Miss Clarkson towards you and Mr. Spector, is that
Correct.
correct? Okay. You don't know what this gentleman said to Miss Clarkson. All you know is he spoke to her, and then there was a much more friendly attitude towards the two of you by Miss Clarkson than previous to him.
All right, we do have a little bit of an issue, and it's my fault. I'm gonna have to, Pokebomb, you will be on the next spin, and I do apologize. I'm looking here at my phone, and at 9:46 a.m., Catherine sent me $10 through, I believe it's Cash App here. So that was actually before. So Pokemon and Tabby Cat now will both be on the next spins. That's totally my bad. I did not see that there on my phone. You can fight me. Fight me. Catherine, I'm putting Catherine on here. Catherine, also, thank you so much. $10 to the Cash App. Let's go.
Speaking with her, is that correct? Is that a fair statement?
To clarify, she was never unfriendly.
Correct. Professional.
Correct. It's just, it was much more
Yeah,
welcoming.
do these in order
I
as
understand.
they come through.
Okay. And the waitress comes up, I think you said, or the server?
Yes.
What is the politically correct term? Help me.
I prefer waiter, but I guess
Here,
server.
which will be
Okay.
Pokemon and Tabby Cat
The
coming
waiter
to
comes
fuck
up,
through.
and did you know her?
Tabby Cat.
No.
I'm not sure whether 199. Yeah, there it is.
what
Yeah.
does she say when
Thank
she
you so
comes up?
much. Getting on
She
that wheel,
asked
baby.
Philip what he wanted to drink.
Okay. And did Philip place an order?
He did.
He asked for rum,
He
correct?
did.
And did you place an order?
I asked for water.
Okay. And after you asked for water, what happened, if anything?
It appeared to me that he was clued in that I was ready to leave.
Okay.
So
Actually, you were very ready to leave, weren't you?
I was ready to leave.
You were exhausted.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. And you were tired.
I was exhausted.
So what happened?
Next list already starting, baby.
He said, okay, you want to go? I'll have my driver take you
Oh, thank you
home."
so much.
Okay. And you were very pleased to hear that, weren't you?
I was very happy.
In fact, we were sitting out on the bench here this morning chatting, and you indicated to me that if you knew that all you had to do was order a bottle of water to get home earlier, you would have done it earlier in the evening, correct?
I probably would.
That would be amazing. I still plan on getting a wig. Like I still, God, I'm going to do it right now. I'm literally going to go on Amazon and find a wig.
And did you then leave at that point?
I did.
Okay.
Hold on.
Prior to you leaving, as I understand it, there was a point where Lana came over because Philip was going to ask her to escort you downstairs to the driver and the car, correct?
Correct.
And as I understand it, when that happened, Philip actually touched Lana Clarkson on the wrist area, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And after that happened, Lana and you...
Found one that I could almost pull off in real life. Oh, wow. I can put myself right in there. I can test it out live. Hold on. Test this out live. Yeah, that would look pretty cool. That'd look pretty wild. But I could almost pull that one off in real life.
You left, as I understand it, the foundation room to go downstairs, is that right?
Yes.
Were you able to take the elevator, or did you and Lana have to walk down?
We walked down the stairs.
The same set of stairs that you used to gain entrance into the foundation room earlier with Mr. Spector?
Yes.
Wow.
And when you and Lana walked down...
For some reason, I'm only in red wigs. Holy shit. Look at these wigs right now. Look at these freaking wigs right now. Dude, this one, would this not be freaking amazing? Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Look at these wigs right now. This one's got crazy eyebrows. What the fuck? Dude, the mullet. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Make that a little... No, we can't. Damn. The mullet, though? This one's pretty good, too. This is actually what he's rocking right now. This is what he's rocking right now, basically. The shag look. $18? That's not even that bad. I can try it on. Hold on. I think it looks pretty good. Shit.
Upstairs, did Lana actually walk you over to Mr. Spector's vehicle and the driver?
Yes, she did.
Was the driver there?
Yes.
And it was still Adriano?
Yes.
And the
Gotta
gentleman
get the
who you knew
mullet,
from the
right?
grill?
Yes.
All right. And as I understand it, at some point you felt a little bit uncomfortable and embarrassed that Lana was doing this, and you said something to
I'm
her.
going to put a poll up.
I did.
Which
You
way
said
is she
something
going?
to her about her escorting you to the vehicle, right?
Yes.
And tell the jury what was it you said to her.
I said you don't have to do this.
And Lana responded, oh, yes, I do, didn't she?
Correct.
In a very affirmative way, correct?
Yes.
Started a poll, guys. Shag or mullet?
Before you left, I understand you thanked Mr. Spector for the evening. Is that correct?
I did.
And am I correct in saying that you kissed him, gave him a little squeeze, thanked him very much, and left?
I did.
And you asked him if he was going to stay,
I did.
and Mr. Spector nodded yes in the affirmative.
Yes, he did.
Okay. You testified on direct that Mr. Spector spoke, I believe, to the waiter.
No, I think
and
they were talking about somebody that did have dreadlocks there. That would have been amazing. I hope maybe I misheard it. I hope I did, Chrissy.
Correct.
Yes.
This
The
was
bullets
not
are totally
a
back.
order or command. It was more in the sense of instruction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't done in a nasty way.
Shag's winning. I thought mullet would pull it through. Wow, people want the shag.
It was blurted out.
Which
I
the
guess
shag
it depends
is. That's
how she
basically
took
what
it.
he's rocking.
Okay.
Was she there?
Yes, she
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Okay. Did she, to what you observed, it didn't appear to you that she was offended, did it?
Objection, that calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Okay.
Give it up. Give it up, Rosen. Let Action Jack sound good.
Ms. Sullivan, am I
Little rock and
correct?
roll.
You never saw the drinks being served that night, isn't that right?
was. No, I didn't.
And when you and Miss Clarkson got down to the vehicle, Mr. Spector's vehicle, where the driver was waiting, Adriano, Miss Clarkson said something to Adriano, didn't she?
She did.
And she said it very forcefully to him, didn't she?
Yes.
May I have the court's indulgence for a moment, please?
Yes.
Would it be a fair characterization, Ms. Sullivan, to say that during the entire exchange with Lana Clarkson and Mr. Spector, he was very calm and he was very respectful?
Yes.
Shag's winning it. 22 votes. Alan Miller. What's up, dude? Sounds like he had a good Saturday night, though.
You had no impression that evening that Mr. Spector was in any way attempting to be romantic with you, isn't that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, he was very respectful.
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Spector is, he's a quiet man, he's a private man? That's a fair description, isn't it?
Objection.
What's the objection?
It calls for speculation as phrased.
I don't believe so. She's asked to offer her opinion based on her knowledge and relationship with the defendant. The objection is overruled. You may answer.
He'd become very private
Got your email,
over
Bonnie.
the years.
Okay. You did not consider that evening, February 3rd, to be a date. It was more or less getting together with an old friend for a drink, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. Hell yeah.
Since you left before anything was served by the waiter, I'm going to assume that you saw no alcohol consumption at the House of Blues. Am I right?
Yes.
And finally, there was nothing that occurred in that evening and into the morning hours, the time, those hours that you spent with Mr. Spector. You never at any time felt threatened by him, did you?
No, I didn't.
And you didn't feel that you were afraid by him in any way, did you?
No, not at all.
Court's indulgence for me, please.
I think so. You know, I don't think you did. I don't think I do have that, no. I don't think I do have the apartment number.
When Miss Clarkson was downstairs where the vehicle was and Adriana was at the vehicle, you indicated that she forcefully expressed to him that he needed to take you home, correct?
Correct.
And she also went on to indicate to take you home quickly and then return for Mr. Spector, isn't that right?
She repeated exactly what Philip had said to her.
Okay, do you remember how, can you do a rendition of that at this time, or?
Have Adriano take Kathy home and make sure he brings back the car.
And that's what she shared with Adriano?
Correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you so very much.
Todd, welcome
no
in here,
further
bud.
questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Redirect.
Finally, give it up. Sit the hell down, Rosin. Good Lord.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Let's go, Action Jackson, baby. Hope immediately he's like, why are you acting so fucking weird? How much is this man paying you?
Ms. Sullivan, on cross-examination, you were asked whether or not Lana Clarkson's attitude, if you will, toward you and Mr. Spector changed after she was spoken to, or apparently spoken to, by another staff member at the House of Blues. I want to follow up on that very briefly. Would you consider her to have been very professional toward yourself and Mr. Spector at your first meeting?
Yes.
Even after this other staff member spoke with Ms. Clarkson, would you consider her to have been friendly, welcoming, and professional even after that?
Yes.
So in other words, there was nothing overtly improper about her attitudes toward Mr. Spector even after she was spoken to by this African-American gentleman, correct?
Correct.
You considered her to be professional in her job,
Yes.
professional in her demeanor,
Yes.
professional toward you,
Yes.
professional toward Mr. Spector.
Yes.
Was there any time during the course of the evening when you were in Ms. Clarkson's presence, along with Mr. Spector, that you found her to be anything other than professional?
No.
Thanks, Gabby. Also on the wheel, baby.
You also indicated that
17 bucks for a wig
in
ain't too
response to
bad.
one of Mr. Rosen's
I'll probably
questions,
get both
that the
of them.
defendant appeared to, I think to use your words, blurt out that he wanted Lana Clarkson, or Lana, I think in his words, brought over immediately, correct?
That's correct.
You paused when Mr. Rosen asked you to describe his demeanor when he blurted this out, and you paused and used the word blurt out. Describe in more detail what you meant by blurt out.
Morning, Megan. Get in here.
The
Hanging a bang in
instructions
this morning.
just kind of came out of nowhere and were forceful.
Forceful in a demanding way?
No, you're good, Bonnie. I put it
It was
next to.
get
I
Lana.
kind of got a note here.
Did it
I think I
appear
got
that
you.
Mr. Spector was being
I'll
demanding
probably
at that point?
start working on that tomorrow.
No.
But it'll probably be a minute before I can actually ship.
Was he
what I have to do in that
someone-
situation. The first 2 winners, their shirts should be getting here because I have to. Actually, I don't have those physically here. I order and go through a company that does that. So what I'm doing currently, the first 2 winners, I think Miss Lisa and Afton, I've ordered both of their shirts, and once they get here, I will then ship them to. I guess I could honestly through the site ship them directly to the person. I need to look at that for these next rounds. But the first 2 I did stupidly, if that is a thing. I'm getting them shipped directly to me, and then I will be sending them out to the folks. So, and then, the new winners, I've got 3 new winners since Friday, as of now. So, yeah. But I got notes here. I'm keeping it all together. I think I got you, though. I think I got you. And then Kelly's coming through, baby. Wig Fun, baby. That's what I'm talking about. $4.99 for the Wig Fun. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much, Kelly. Appreciate that. I think I got it. No, it's a fair question because, my brain kind of sucks, but no, I think I got it.
Want to go get Lana right now?
Yeah.
Did it appear that Mr. Spector was adopting the attitude, whenever you get around to it, if you see her, maybe you might want to have her stop by here? Or is it something other than that?
It was other than that.
It was, go get Lana, go get her now. I want her now, correct?
It wasn't as mean as you're saying it.
Well, I'm not trying to
I
put
know.
words in your
I know.
mouth. I'm trying to get an idea.
Not as mean as you're
between,
saying it.
The first example, whenever you get around to it, maybe you might want to have her stop by and go get Lana.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
Well, Your Honor, I'm going to object. It's a leading and suggestive question. She described it now 3 times, once on the original direct, once on the cross, and now on the redirect.
I don't think it was leading or suggestive because it gave the witness different scenarios to agree with, but it doesn't have to be limited to those. I'll sustain the objection, rephrase the question.
Certainly. Would you consider that blurt, and I'm trying to use your words because I'm having trouble coming up with anything of my own, would you consider...
Damn, the mullet came back a little bit. Right now we're at, I'm going to let it keep rolling too. After 32 votes, we're at 56% for the shag. I probably am going to get both. I'll probably get both of those.
Defendant's blurt.
But it's still
Get
interesting to see
Lana
what wins
to be
officially.
a command.
The shag's
do it
pretty
now.
perfect.
Yes.
All right. The instruction was forceful.
Yes.
The instruction was assertive.
Yes.
Was the instruction followed?
Yes.
Do you know, based on your experience with Mr. Spector, whether or not he was used to having his instructions followed immediately?
Objection. No foundation.
I'm going to sustain that. You may rephrase.
Had you ever, in your experience with Mr. Spector, out at dinners or whatever other social events you were at, seen Mr. Spector command or demand something?
No. Objection. Vague.
Overruled. You may answer if you can.
He would ask for things, and he always got them.
Okay. In this
Seems
case,
about. That's why
there
we're
was
in
no
this
question
in the
mark at the
spot
end of
we're in
that.
with this motherfucker. He was never put in his place ever. He was a child, and I'm saying that at the years of 21. Okay, he was a child when he blew up. Even then, he was. I don't know about his younger years. I've never took a deep dive into his younger years, but never was told no.
Sentence, would you go get Lana, please? Was it?
No.
It was go get Lana.
Yes.
All right. When Lana Clarkson followed you or escorted you down to the Mercedes, you indicated that Ms. Clarkson was somewhat forceful, I think was your word, in instructing Adriano D'Souza, or Adriano, to drop you off and come back for Mr. Spector, correct?
Correct.
Did you also indicate that she was repeating exactly what Mr. Spector had commanded?
Yes.
So was the forceful nature of her command toward Adriano the same as the forceful nature of Mr. Spector's command to Lana?
No.
Which was more forceful?
Phyllis.
Again, when you saw this interaction between Ms. Clarkson and Adriano, was she professional?
Yes.
Was she courteous?
Yes.
Mr. Rosen asked you about the nature of your relationship with Philip Spector from 1997 to 2003. You indicated that you only saw him, I think you said 5 or 6 times during that period, correct?
Correct.
So it's safe to say that you averaged seeing Mr. Spector socially about once a year or so.
Those 6 outings were all in the same probably year.
All right, so help me out. If you only saw him if you met him in 1997, is that yes?
Yes.
Okay, and the last time you saw him was 2003. That's a period of approximately 6 years, correct?
Correct.
What was the time span in which you spent most of those 6 occasions?
From 97 through 98, maybe a little bit into 99,
Okay.
but I doubt it. It was 98.
And you usually saw him during those 6 occasions with Susanna, is that correct?
That's correct.
As a matter of fact, with the exception of February 2nd, 2003, you had only seen him exclusively with Susanna, correct?
That's correct.
You had never been out with him by yourself previously.
Correct.
And am I safe in doing the math that you had not seen Mr. Spector in 3 or 4 years socially at the time that you saw him on February 2nd, 2003?
That's correct.
You didn't date him?
Nope.
Would you describe your relationship with him as casual,
Yes.
friendly?
Yes.
Would you describe it as boyfriend-girlfriend?
Nope.
Not even close, correct?
Not even close.
And you never, quote-unquote, dated the man, did you?
No, I didn't.
Asked and answered now 3 times.
I think we've covered it. You can move forward.
Did you, during your, I can't remember if it was on direct examination or cross-examination, I know Mr. Rosen touched on this, you indicated that Mr. Spector and Mr. Spector's and your relationship was closer to that of father-like than it was boyfriend-like, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Are you describing the age difference between yourself and Mr. Spector, or the level of intimacy that you had with him?
Both.
You would say that you were as close to Mr. Spector as you are to your father?
Oh, okay. All I can say is that when Susanna and I were with him, he just seemed to get a kick out of us.
And that was in 1997, 1998, maybe into 1999, correct?
Yes.
I want to be clear so that I don't misunderstand you. You're not describing, when you said the word father or father-like, you're not describing the level of closeness that you have with Mr. Spector as even coming anywhere near that of a daughter or father, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You knew Rami Davis from the restaurant and Mr. Spector having brought her in, correct?
That's correct.
Were you aware of the nature of their relationship?
Not
Jay
really,
Money, what's
no.
up, bro?
Were you aware that they had known each other since high school?
Susan told me.
Get it,
Were
man.
you aware that they had a dating relationship?
It seemed like it. They were in the restaurant together.
So you were also aware that they had known each other socially for a vast period of time?
Yes.
That they knew each other relatively well?
Yes.
That they had a close relationship?
Yes.
That they dated several times a month for several months before February of 2003?
I'm going to sustain the objection.
I'm also going to leave you straight the last answer.
The answer may stand, but I've sustained your objection.
Thank you.
What was your impression of how often Miss Davis and Mr. Spector dated in the months leading up to February 2nd, 2003?
Objection, go and see.
Sustain.
Were you aware, or did you and Mr. Spector discuss the fact that Rami Davis had gone out with Mr. Spector on Friday night and Saturday night before the Sunday that you saw him?
No.
Withdraw.
Would you agree that someone that had a relationship with Mr. Spector, such as I've suggested, someone dating Mr. Spector on a weekly basis for several months, had a closer relationship than you did with Mr. Spector?
I'm going to object to that. That's completely speculative, without foundation.
I think that's more appropriate for argument. The objection is sustained.
Thank you.
Do you believe, as you sit here, that Ms. Davis would have a better idea of Mr. Spector's moods and demeanor than you might?
Objection calls for speculation, no foundation.
The objection is sustained.
In direct examination, you indicated that Mr. Spector normally I'm sorry, this was cross-examination, normally ordered Diet Cokes. Is that right?
That's right.
Did it stand out in your mind when you walked over to say hi to Mr. Spector that evening that he had what appeared to be a highball or a cocktail
here for the
in
next
front of him?
spin.
Yeah. Yes,
Why?
it did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Why was that unusual for you?
Gabby's on that wheel twice now.
Because I
Gabby
had
wants a
heard
shirt.
that he was no longer drinking.
This only goes, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't necessarily introduced for the truth of the matter, sir. It's to explain
Morning, Cat
the
Grove.
witness's conclusion, and for that only, and you will be so limited. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just go ahead and finish that thought if you wouldn't mind.
I had heard that he had stopped drinking since I had hung out with him.
All right. Did he drink when you hung out with him?
Well, most of the time we'd see him in the afternoon, so no.
Okay, so in those 5 or 6 times that you had seen him socially before 2003, you had not been out with him on an evening where everybody's drinking heavily or getting drunk or anything like that?
I had seen him drink on 2 occasions.
Okay. Was it to excess?
Only once.
And when was that?
Like just
I
from
don't
everything
know.
we've already heard from other people that, again, were not just one-time, situations. I find a lot of this hard to believe. I mean, the vibe I'm getting, and especially from seeing the glance from the last episode, that did it all in their little weird smile off when they met eyes for just a second there. And then the recounts of exactly what she's going through right now, and she's basically trying to make him sound like the exact opposite of what we've become to know of Phil Spector so far on his outings, and how he took in alcohol like a fucking fish, all right? And his personality would change on a dime.
The date,
Okay, give me an idea of the year.
I don't know the year.
It would've-
Sometime in 97,
Okay.
between that and 98.
Okay. And what were the circumstances, if you recall, what were the circumstances surrounding that one particular evening?
Susan and I went over to his house pretty late at night.
And what happened?
We brought a pizza, and I think we brought a bottle of wine. I know we drank wine, and I think we brought it.
What was Mr. Spector drinking?
I don't know, but it was something else.
Did Susanna stay with you and Mr. Spector the whole time?
Yes.
And did you stay with Susanna and Mr. Spector the whole time? In other words, the 3 of you were there. There was never you alone with Mr. Spector or Susanna alone with Mr. Spector.
No.
How much alcohol was consumed, if you remember?
And I'm going to object on relevancy grounds.
Overruled.
And also beyond the scope of cross.
I'll allow the district attorney to reopen.
Thank you.
Don't forget, we got the liquor drinks in the chat.
Quite a bit.
Give me an idea. I mean, the whole bottle of wine between the 3 of you, or?
No, I would say that she and
I didn't know that those would be representing
the
this
bottle of
trial
wine.
so
Okay.
significantly, but
What
here
was
we are.
Mr. Spector drinking?
I don't know.
It's asked and answered. She already said she doesn't know.
I'll allow some further inquiry. The objection's overruled.
Do you recall what he was drinking?
I don't.
Okay. Do you recall if it was a liquor or a wine?
It was a liquor.
All right. And you may have answered this. You don't recall how much. You just recall that he was drinking along
Correct.
with you and Susanna.
Correct.
All right. At some point during that evening, did you ask Mr. Spector to leave?
No.
As a matter of fact, did you hear Susanna ask Mr. Spector if she could leave?
No.
So if you didn't leave, where'd you stay?
We stayed there.
Did you stay with Mr. Spector in his room?
No.
Did Susanna stay with Mr. Spector in his room that you know?
No.
Were each of you given your own rooms?
Yes.
And neither one of you asked to leave during the course of the evening?
No.
When did you leave?
Damn, RX Girl
The
gifted
next
one
morning.
out. Thank you so much. Paige Miller grabbing it. And people that are getting gifted memberships right now, you guys are really in for it coming here soon. And there's already 2 videos that I just put up from outings that I've taken, and I'm making videos about my weekend outings now. So, and those are going to be exclusive to members and Patreon, guys. So you're going to enjoy the content that's coming. And there's already 2 videos for members right now on YouTube that are pretty cool. One of them is me eating inside of a restaurant that used to be a funeral home, and then we take a little bit of a tour of that restaurant. And then the other one is, just hanging out at this. Basically, last weekend there was I think it was 2 weekends ago now. There was like a biker rally going on in the area. So yeah, and And yesterday, I went down and ate at this cool restaurant, and I'm going to make another video for that. So the members are going to be getting some cool stuff. Going to be getting exclusive content coming forward. Thank you so much, RX Girl. Name on the list, baby.
Now, on this particular night, February 2nd, going into the morning hours
We
of
got one
February
spin
3rd.
already in the books, about to happen any moment, really. Anytime I feel like doing it. And then we have one filling up rapidly, and the next one.
You were aware that Mr. Spector had a drink at the grill, correct? At least saw one drink on the table, correct?
Correct.
Based on your experience in the restaurant business, would you know a daiquiri if you saw one?
Yes.
Did it look like a daiquiri?
Yes.
Okay, that would be consistent with your review of that receipt that we showed you
Yes.
last Thursday?
Yes.
Do you know how many daiquiris he had at the grill?
I don't until I saw the receipt.
Okay, which indicated 2, correct?
Correct.
And you also indicated that Mr. Spector ordered 2 Navy Grogs at Trader Vic's, correct?
Correct.
Based on your experience in the restaurant business, do you know what the recipe at Trader Vic's is for a Navy Grog?
I'd never heard of that before.
Okay. You knew it was alcoholic, however.
I'm going to go to a local restaurant here in West Virginia and just sit down. It'd be even funny if I went in looking extra redneck, like I just did the whole thing. I'm talking the overalls, shirtless, looks like I just cut grass, I'm sweaty as fuck, coming in, back, whatever. I'm going to look terrible. I'm going to come in and order a Navy Grog, though. I'm going to sit down. May I have a Navy Grog, please? And I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
I assumed.
Okay. He also ordered 2 drinks for himself at Dantana's, is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall those being daiquiris as well?
They were.
All right. And finally, I think Mr. Rosen touched on this. You heard him order rum at the House of Blues, is that right?
That's right.
Did he call his liquor at the House of Blues rum Bacardi 151 or just say, give me rum straight up?
He said just rum.
And you did indicate that you and Mr. Spector ordered a salad before you got to the House of Blues at Dantana's, is that right?
That's right.
Do you know how much of that salad Mr. Spector actually ate?
Not much. He gave me the leftovers, so I took it home.
As a matter of fact, did you indicate, you took some notes about this evening after you had heard that Lana Clarkson had been killed in Mr. Spector's home, correct?
That's correct.
And that was to refresh your recollection about the events of the evening?
That's correct.
Why did you take those notes down?
I was actually advised by a friend because they said that I would probably be getting contacted.
And eventually you were contacted?
I was, yeah.
Do you remember indicating that Mr. Spector actually just nibbled, quote, using your words, at the salad, whereas you, quote,
I
ate with an exclamation point,
Yep.
right? All right. You did not see Mr. Spector leaving the House of Blues, correct?
No, I did not.
Were you ever with him at his house later that morning on February 3rd?
Nope.
Do you know how much he had to drink at the House of Blues?
I do not.
Do you know how much he had to drink at his castle later that morning?
No foundation.
Sustained.
You don't know or you can't testify to the defendant's state of inebriation when he left the House of Blues, can you?
Overruled. Overruled. You may answer.
No, I cannot.
And I think it goes without saying, Ms. Sullivan, that you do not know, you can't testify to a state of inebriation once at the house, once at his castle, correct?
Objection, no foundation.
Since it does go without saying, let's not say it. Sustained.
Me too, sir. Me too.
Touche, Your
Got
Honor.
a damn good salad rocking and rolling.
All right. Before you, I
Can't
think
really beat
Mr.
it.
Rosen touched on
Nice
this just a
mix,
little bit,
baby.
and then I just have a couple
I
more
like a good
questions.
hard-boiled egg in my
Before you
salad.
went to Dantana's, you insisted on moving your car, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And you moved your car from where it was parked at, or close to the grill, back over toward your place, your residence in, is that Hollywood?
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood. Why was it important to you to move your car that night, Ms. Sullivan?
Objection was asked and answered on direct and cross.
I'll allow it. Because it was answered on cross, it may be gone back into and redirect.
Very well.
You may answer the question.
Well, I suggested that I drive my own car because Dantana's is en route to where I live. And then I knew I could leave when I wanted because I had my own car. And Mr. Spector said, well, that's okay, we'll just follow you and we'll all go together.
Was it important to you to move your car because you wanted to make sure you had access to it later?
That, and I did not want to leave it in Beverly Hills.
Because you might need it the next day?
Right, or could get towed, ticketed.
And you would obviously have to then get it out of impound?
Yes.
You might need it the next week?
Yes.
You might need it the next month?
Yes.
In other words, to live your life normally, you need your car, correct?
Yes.
And you insisted on...
I think we're getting to the, we're sort of belaboring the obvious, Sustained.
Your Honor, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Recross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, God in heaven.
Just when you thought you were out of here, huh? Okay.
This guy, I can't take his jokes. Dude,
When Mr. Spector
I don't know why they
asked
bug me
Lana
so
to
bad.
accompany you downstairs, he used the word please, didn't he?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay. You recited for us what Ms. Clarkson said to Mr. DeSouza and Adriano downstairs at the car, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And let's revisit for a moment some of the things Mr. Jackson spoke to you about here. Let's start with the grill. As you sit here today, you cannot testify what Mr. Spector's consumption of any kind of beverage was at the grill because you weren't waiting on him and you weren't monitoring him, correct?
That is correct.
When you indicated that he ordered a daiquiri at the grill, it was based upon what we had up on the screen last week from the ticket, right?
Well, no, I observed it when I went over to say hello.
On the table.
Correct.
But you never saw him drink from it, correct?
No.
Okay. So you don't know if he had one sip or if he had the entire drink, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, Mr. Jackson took you through a historical trip here regarding the different places that you were with Mr. Spector and what was ordered at the different locations, correct?
Correct.
Daiquiris at the grill, the drink called the Navy Grog at Trader Vic's, Dantana's daiquiris, and then ultimately getting to the House of Blues, which you aren't able to cast any light on because you left before anything was served, right?
That's right.
As I understand it, Mr. Spector arrived at the grill that evening, or the evening before, excuse me, February 2nd. About what time, do you recall? About 7, 8, somewhere in there?
I honestly have no idea what time he arrived. I was very busy and did not see him get set.
Okay. Is there any way, and just take a moment, is there any way you can reconstruct in your mind approximately when you first saw him there or when you went over to the table to extend greetings to him?
There's absolutely no way.
Okay. If I suggested somewhere in the 7 to 8 o'clock p.m. area, does that sound about right to you? Tell you what, let me withdraw. Let me see if I can help you.
He's going to be like, may I approach? He's going to be like, no. No, you may not.
Let's put the receipt back up on the screen. And there are some times on it, and maybe that will help you, okay? Zero in on the time there, please.
Welcome in here, Charlie. What's up, bud?
We blow that up a little bit so Miss Sullivan can see that. There we go. Thank you, sir. Okay, so blowing that up, it appears to show the date of February 2nd, 2003 at the time, 10:17 p.m. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Now, as I understand it, and you're familiar with this because you're a waiter at the grill, that date and number tells us what date the ticket was written and filled, correct?
Correct.
And the time that the ticket came out. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Would it be fair to say, and I know you were busy that evening.
That like as you come through.
Sunday night, the grill was usually busy on a Sunday night. But would it be, sometimes mobbed, huh? Okay, would it be fair to say that Mr. Spector was at least there a couple of hours?
Yes, it would.
Okay, so if it's 10:17, that backs us up to about 8 o'clock, right? Somewhere right in there?
Yes.
All right.
Gabby,
And as
come
I
through here.
understand
She
it, when you
wants-
last saw Mr. Spector the following
Thank you, Gabby.
morning, it was close to or on the other side of 2 a.m., correct?
That's correct.
So if we do simple math, which I can do, we've got about a 6-hour period. Is that right?
Correct.
And it was over this entire 6-hour period that you answered Mr. Jackson's questions regarding what it was that you and Mr. Spector ate, correct?
Correct.
And over this entire 6-hour period, what it is that you and Mr. Spector drank, correct?
Correct.
And as I understand it also, you and Mr. Spector did go to the lavatory on several occasions at
Correct.
different locations, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jackson directed your attention to the first meeting with Miss Clarkson, and you said that she was very professional, correct?
Yes.
You then indicated that after the gentleman with the dreads spoke with Miss Clarkson, she was still very professional, but she was more friendly, correct?
Correct.
All right. And by more friendly, would it be fair to characterize more friendly as more friendly towards you, more warm towards you? Or would it be more correct to say that she was more friendly in the sense of more warm towards Mr. Spector?
Maybe more friendly wasn't the right term. She was more open to letting us in.
Okay. Did it appear to you, let me ask you this, did it appear to you that Miss Clarkson, after this gentleman spoke to her, was more interested in pleasing Mr. Spector?
Objection. That calls for speculation.
Sustained.
When you and Mr. Spector were escorted over to the couch, is it correct that Miss Clarkson started fluffing up the pillows about the two of you?
I cannot remember that detail.
Okay.
Go Pete, getting in
Now-
there. $1.99, thank you. Second wheel's already filling up now. Sure I'm not missing
Mr.
anything
Jackson
in
was
that Cash App
asking
or
you
Venmo
questions
area.
about how Mr. Spector requested Lana to come over so that you could be taken down to the vehicle and taken home, correct?
That's correct.
And when Mr. Jackson was doing that, he was banging on the podium like this. And I wanted to ask you, was Mr. Spector banging on the table or anything else like this when he asked Lana
No.
to escort you down? He wasn't, was he?
No.
He wasn't being mean.
Indicating knocking on the podium.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
And he wasn't being mean to her or demeaning to her in any way, was he?
I did not feel
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Huh? Judge Die just popped in
so
for a
no.
minute there for
Okay.
you.
He didn't call her any uncolored names or use any use colorful language with her, did he?
no.
You said that in the past, when Mr. Spector would ask for things, he would get them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to just sort of think about those experiences. When he would ask for things, what I was impressed with by your answer was, you meant things like if he wanted some water, or if he wanted some iced tea, or if he wanted a Diet Coke, or if he wanted a chopped salad, or if he wanted prime rib. Am I correct?
That's correct.
You said that you always, when you had been in Mr. Spector's presence, viewed him to be very gentlemanly and very friendly, correct?
Yes.
So when he would ask for things, other than this evening that we're talking about, but in the past when you were with him on the other 6 occasions, and he would get things, it was never anything out of the ordinary, was it?
No.
In other words, he didn't say to somebody, you know, go steal that car across the street and bring it to me. It wouldn't be anything like that, would it?
No.
Okay, so it was requests, or it were requests that you felt to be appropriate at the time, and when he would ask for something, whoever he asked it of would bring it to him.
That is correct.
And he would ask in a nice way, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would.
He's a very mannerly individual, isn't he?
Yes.
Please, thank you, you're welcome. Those are words and phrases that occupy his vocabulary when he's out with a lady like yourself. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And Mr. Jackson spent some time here on Redirect asking you about fatherly. And I think you described it as not in the sense of your own blood-related father, but more in a paternalistic way. Is that a fair statement?
That would be fair.
Okay. You used a phrase, you said, it seemed to you and Susan that Mr. Spector got a kick out of you.
Yes.
I believe that's a phrase you used.
Yes.
Just if you would take a moment, share with the jury what you meant by that.
Well, Susan and I were pretty crazy. And we were working on a lounge act. And we would go up to Philip's house, and she would bring her guitar, and we would do some of our numbers for him, which were clearly terrible. And he would sit there very nicely, just sort of nodding. And at the end of it, he wouldn't tell us to shut up or throw us out. He would simply say, "Have you thought about this song?" And he would lead us to something else. It was just very kind and something like a dad would do when he saw his kid's ballet recital.
I take it from this, then, that Mr. Spector from time to time would make suggestions to you and Susan about your act,
Yes.
and in other instances regarding other matters of life, correct?
Yes.
J Money, got that, bro. You are on the list. $3 coming through on the Cash App. Thanks, homie. Let me get you on here real quick. J Money in the running for a shirt. And then right behind that, also coming through on the Cash App, Catherine, going to get on there again. Actually, Catherine was she? Yeah, Catherine's on the other one. Catherine is now also on the next spin. So she sent through 420. Perfect. Add me to the wheel, Steve. I feel lucky today. Thank you so much, Catherine. Let's go. I'm going to get you under there right under J Money. Hell yes. Yeah, we're going to get a spin going here. I might as well do it. Let's go ahead and do a spin. Why not? We still have a long time of rosin just fucking around here. So let's do it. Let me get in position real quick. Make sure I've got everybody on. Yes, for the next spin. The next spin in question is going to be Holly Berry, MJ on twice, Wild Side on twice, Miss Lisa A, Jersey Gin, J, Kelly Kelly, Bo Belly, RX Girl, and Jersey Gin. And actually, Jersey Gin again on twice for this one. So we got a couple of people that's going to double their chances here on this spin. But yeah, let's go. Let me set this up. And yeah, give me just a second. Ooh. Jersey Gin. Yeah, Jersey Gin winning that son of a bitch. Nice. She's putting it in too today. Let's see. That's awesome. So yeah, Jersey Gin, getting that next one, and I will start we haven't fully maxed out the next one yet, but I'll start getting the names on there. Hell yes. Hell yes. These headphones back on. Jersey Gin, congratulations. Let's go.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
What are we doing? What are we doing in here?
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
I'm telling you like it is.
We're not messing around, brothers and sisters. This morning here on the Murder Church.
Hold up.
We ain't messing around,
Hold up.
brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. That is freaking awesome. Yes. Nice. Let me look in the chat here just for a second. Jersey Gin. Yeah, she's stoked. That's what I'm talking about. Sweet. Yeah, and that's true. On Cash App, it's 100% friend to friend. There's no middleman there. Yeah, thank you guys so freaking much. That's awesome. And yeah, we are still working on the next round. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything while we are in just a little quick break. Just to make sure. Actually, let me do the count up here. Just to see if we're ready for another one. By chance. What's the new count here? We got Pokemon, Tabby, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. I think we're at 9 right now, so we're about 3 away from the next spin or so like that. I think that's correct. I may be off, but we're getting there, baby. Thank you so much. That's freaking awesome. Again, go to publiclybuzz.com, Jersey Jen. Boom. Put you in my winner here, my winner circle. And ready to go. Love it. Thank you, guys.
But it was always done in a very
giving back here a little bit. You know, help it. You guys, we have so many cool people here that give all the time, man. And I think this is a cool way to where the chances of somebody also getting a little bit of merch and something on the kickback, man, I think it's
in a very nice way.
Which again, might not be indefinite by any means, you know, but I think it's cool, man. We're going to play with it.
It was, which is why we spent the night that night.
And we'll get to that in a moment. So really, if I'm hearing it right, what you're saying when you use the word fatherly, you're really talking about an attitude that Philip had with you and Susan. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. An attitude of somebody who was concerned, caring, and protective, correct?
I found him very protective.
Mr. Jackson, in his questioning, suggested that you knew that possibly Mr. Spector and Rami Davis were in a dating relationship, correct?
Correct.
This was something that was told to you.
Correct.
But you don't know it from your own firsthand knowledge, it's just what's been told to you, correct?
That is correct.
And when you were talking with Mr. Jackson a moment ago along these lines, it came to me that you did not feel that you were intruding or inserting yourself between Ms. Davis and Mr. Spector if in fact there was a romantic relationship. You were going out for a drink with an old friend, correct?
Yes.
It was purely platonic, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. There was never any suggestion or indication that you or Philip had romantic interest in each other, right?
That is correct.
And that's why you were willing to go out with Philip after Miss Davis was taken home after dining with him that
Oh,
evening,
yeah.
correct?
Correct.
I just have one other quick thing I wanted to chat with you about.
Yeah, right. Quick with this guy.
The evening that you and Susan went to the house and you brought pizza and wine, and Mr. Spector was drinking something else, but it's just too long ago for you to recall what it was. Do you recall, was that an evening when he spoke with you about the death of his son?
Objection, relevance.
Only to focus attention. I'm not going to let it go anywhere else. The objection is overruled. If that refreshes your recollection, you may answer that.
I had that conversation.
I think Jason sent through another $3 on the Cash App, so let me get you on there also, Jason. I see that, bud. Sorry about that. Or J Money in the house. Sending through another $3. Holla, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Tonight. There's more that's crazy. Thank you so much. I'm going to start filling out these new ones.
At some point, but I don't know if it was that night.
Getting there. I think we're one away.
That's a very, when you have that conversation with him, it's a very sensitive subject for him, isn't it?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to sustain it. I told you that was done for one purpose, to set a date. Given her answer, that's as far as
Very
it
well.
goes.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan.
J Money, upping
And
the chances.
hopefully you'll be able to go down.
Redirect.
And just a moment, Your Honor.
You may. Rather than make the jurors wait, rather than make the witness just sit there, I have to go in chambers with counsel to discuss the matter, and with that in mind, we're going to take a brief recess. Keep in mind the admonition. We'll call you as soon as we're ready. If you wish, you may step down rather than, and we're going to need you again. Okay? All right, thank you.
Water courts again in session.
All right, the parties...
Quiet, please.
Sir, I hope I'm not interrupting.
They just took a break. Hold on. This is getting wild. This is getting crazy. MJ coming through here, gifting out a membership also. Drew getting that son of a bitch. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Judge Diehard going to let you know.
Hey, motherfucker.
I think that just rounded out. I am going to let this keep going because I got to put all these names on here. But let me just see. I think MJ just rounded this out to completion to where we can get another spin. Another spin this morning. Let me just make sure I'm not missing nothing here by time, because earlier Catherine had beaten Pokemon by just a little bit, and I missed that, and then I had to change something up. So I just want to make sure MJ is possibly the last. I think she is. Okay, cool. Let me get these names on here. We're going to keep rolling. Good morning, MJ. Welcome in here. We were having a good one. Yeah, today is Jay's birthday, and I think Jersey Jen, just who won the last spin, is thinking about gifting her win, her whatever she picks from the merch store to Jay. Or maybe let Jay pick. I don't know. That's freaking awesome. I can let Jay know that is also Jersey Jen, but he'll probably pop back through here this morning. But yeah, let me keep rolling here just a moment, and I'll get these names on.
Court with your conversation,
Oh,
okay?
crazy.
When the bailiff says quiet,
Thank
she
you so
means
much.
quiet. If you'd like to
All right.
remain, you can. If you insist on talking when I'm out here, you're gone.
Uh-oh.
The parties are present.
I already hear somebody fucking around.
Hey, motherfucker.
You don't fuck around with Judge Bruce
The
Willis.
witness
You
is
don't do
present,
it.
the jurors and the alternates are not present. Ma'am, we're going to be asked some questions outside the presence of the jury about a certain incident that took place so I can evaluate it. You may proceed, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Sullivan, I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time, but I want you to explain to the court about the incident concerning, on redirect examination, I think, I asked you a couple of questions about the incident concerning when you spent some time at the castle, at the Alhambra Castle. Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right. I'd like you to explain to the court what happened the next morning after you and Susanna woke up, how you ended up getting out to your car.
Excuse me. We were in the foyer saying our goodbyes, and Philip said he had to go upstairs. So he disappeared. And when he came down the stairs, he was holding a, I don't know if it was a shotgun or a rifle, but it was clearly a big gun. It was just pointed down at
Here
his
we
side.
fucking go. This is the Spector we know.
And he came walking down the stairs, and I looked at Susanna, she looked at me, and we're like, what the hell's that? And we said, what's
Yes.
that for?
Got her full, baby.
And all he said was protection. He kept walking down. We walked out to our cars. We got in. We thanked him for a nice evening, and we drove off.
What?
Do you remember having any conversation with Susanna about this incident?
When we got in the car, we're like, what was that?
Did it make you nervous?
Well, I don't like guns.
Susanna coming up next. What the hell's going on here? No. What the fuck? I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
So it was totally out of the blue. So I guess it did make me nervous.
Was there any reason,
Jersey
Ms.
Jen, I'll do that
Sullivan,
right now.
that you felt, based on your perspective, I don't want you to speculate about Susanna, I don't want you to speculate about Mr. Spector. Was there any reason at all for you to feel that you needed protection, to use Mr. Spector's word, with a gun at that point in the morning when you were about to leave?
There was no reason.
Did this seem, this display of a shotgun, for lack of a better phrase, seem out of place, given the tone and tenor of what was going on that morning?
Well, at that time, whenever Philip did go out in public, he had a bodyguard with him who did have a gun. So the whole protection thing was not out of character.
Sent the
But
message
being
to
up
Jay right
in
now,
his
Jen.
gated house with the shotgun
With a link to the store.
was sort of strange.
You said that Mr. Spector disappeared and then reappeared with the gun, correct?
Correct.
Did he say anything before he left to go get the gun?
Just, I'll be right back.
How long was he gone?
It seemed like a long time, because we commented to each other, what the hell's he doing?
When he reappeared, did he say anything about the gun?
Not until we asked him. He was completely silent.
Just showed up with the shotgun or rifle in hand.
Yeah.
You indicated that it was pointed down, correct?
Yes, it was.
Once he came down the stairs with the rifle or long gun in hand, what did he do with the gun as you began to walk out toward your car?
It was just in his hand, like it could have been a shopping bag or a purse or something. Just had it in his hand.
Did that scare you?
Objection is asked to me.
Overruled.
I never thought he would use it. but I don't like guns.
Okay, let me ask you again. I'm not asking you to speculate about whether you were specifically in fear for your life, just generally having the gun in Mr. Spector's hands at that point in time in the morning, were you scared?
Yes.
Did it make you nervous?
Yes.
Did it make you uncomfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Is that why you inquired about it? Like, what the hell is that?
Yes.
And that's when you got the response from Mr. Spector, protection.
Yes.
And that was the singular response that you got. He gave no other explanation as to why he had armed himself with a shotgun or a long gun, correct?
Correct.
Was that the last time you had seen Mr. Spector socially until the February incident, February 2nd incident?
Yes.
Okay. May I have just a moment?
You may.
I just thought of something as I set my book down. That next morning, you had had at least a few hours sleep, correct?
Oh, yeah.
When you woke up, were you still feeling the effects of alcohol? Were you inebriated?
No, I felt fine.
Did it appear that Mr. Spector was inebriated?
No.
Do you know one way or the other, or are you just speculating?
Overruled. Overruled.
Shelley, I see that tweet that you just sent.
I'm just asking what your impression
Everyone rocking
of Mr.
a wig.
Spector was
Oh my
based on
God, the
facts that you
baby!
have in front of you. Do you have an impression one way or another whether or not he was still inebriated from the effects of alcohol the night before? Do you know?
Excuse me, objection. That mistakes the evidence.
Sustained.
Do you know what his state of sobriety was the next morning when he armed himself with this long gun?
The baby.
He was very quiet.
Okay. Do you know what his state of sobriety was?
Oh my God.
She's answered the question. He may not like the answer, but that's the answer.
Excuse me, she didn't answer the question directly,
Excuse me, sir.
so it's appropriate to re-ask it. You may ask.
Bring it down about 2
It
notches,
never
sir.
crossed my mind that he might be inebriated.
Okay, thank you. I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
They're never letting her go. There's still 30 minutes of this lady telling us this bullshit. Yeah, I said it. Yo, Dave, what's up? Welcome in here, man. It's been a wild morning. Dancing through the aisles this morning here on Murder Church. All right, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything real quick in the emails.
Miss Sullivan, I just have a few questions here, I hope, for you this morning. I want to clarify something. First of all,
Wildside, I got
Spector,
your email as well with which shirt you want and the address. Thank you so freaking much. She said, my favorite day. That's awesome.
Never pointed this
She's
weapon
been
at you
wild
at any
on Phil
time
Friday
that morning,
for
did
sure.
he?
Love
That's
it.
correct.
Never
Right
pointed
back
the
up.
weapon at Suzanne.
Amber, what's
All
up?
Correct.
Morning.
As I understand your testimony,
Jen
at
Del
all
Rio,
times this
good
weapon
morning.
was at his side, pointed down. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you had been with him the entire evening before, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Right
Spent the night, right?
Correct.
You didn't ask to leave.
Correct.
Okay. He treated you like a gentleman. You had your own separate room. Susan had her own separate room, correct?
Correct.
He didn't at any time invade your privacy that evening, did he?
Oh, no.
Okay. And he was up the next morning. You were up the next morning. Susan was up the next morning. And the two of you were getting ready to leave, right?
That's correct.
And you told Philip you were ready to leave?
Yes.
Okay. And that's when Philip left your presence for a period of time and came back and had the weapon, correct?
That is correct.
Now, as I understand it, you can't say whether it was a rifle or a shotgun. You just knew it was a weapon.
That's correct.
All right. And Mr. Jackson asked you about this whole gun thing, and you indicated that you didn't find it out of character for Philip because he had a bodyguard that carried a gun, and so the whole protection thing wasn't out of character for him. It wasn't strange, correct?
No.
Okay. And you said you never thought he would use it, correct?
Correct.
You indicated to Mr. Jackson that you were scared, you were nervous, and you weren't comfortable. You were uncomfortable, correct?
That's correct.
But that wasn't because of Philip. That was because of the fact you just don't like weapons, right?
That's correct.
There was nothing this man did at any time that made you feel uncomfortable, correct?
That's correct.
with a weapon.
Correct.
There was nothing he did that made you feel nervous or scared with a weapon, correct?
Correct.
It was the mere fact that you don't like guns, right?
Yes.
And you never felt threatened by him with this weapon. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
In fact, you were interviewed, as I understand it, by Detectives Fournier and Tomlin. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I think we figured that you were interviewed on, I think we believe it was February 7th of '03. Is that right?
It was soon after. So.
Okay. And in talking to them, you described generally and in a short manner this incident that we're talking about here, correct?
Yes.
And you told them that you thought it was the funniest picture in the whole wide world, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And that's what you thought when you saw it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, and nothing further.
Thank you. Redirect.
Actually, what you said, Ms. Sullivan, was the fact that he escorted us out with a gun was to me a little silly. Isn't that what you said?
I don't remember that, but if you have it in writing, that's what I said.
Okay, I don't mean to tax your memory. Council, page Bates 4816 and 4817.
Just
Sure.
a moment. Line, please.
Lines 9 through bottom, and then take a look on 4817 at lines 23 through 24.
That's fine.
Actually, backing up to line 7. Do you remember this exchange? And I realize we're asking you about an interview that took place a while ago. I just want to read a question and answer dialogue between you and Detective Fournier and ask you if you recall this dialogue.
Objection, no foundation. She hasn't indicated that she has. In fact, she said yes.
Mr. Jackson.
She said she didn't recall that. If it's written down, she may have said it.
The
Well, then
objection.
the proper procedure would be to lay the foundation for refreshing memory.
Excuse me. If you look at this, might it refresh your recollection as to what your actual words were?
Yes.
All right. The objection is
Yeah.
overruled. You may approach.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Read to yourself from about line 7 through the bottom of the page, and then the entire page of page 139, if you wouldn't
Okay.
mind. Let me know when you're finished.
Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan, did you indicate in your questioning by Detective Fournier that you believed that it was relatively silly for Mr. Spector to have armed himself just to escort you to the car?
Yes.
And did you indicate that you felt like, if in fact, under Mr. Rosen's questioning, you felt like it was funny, were you referring to the ridiculousness of Mr. Spector arming himself simply to walk you to the car?
Well, we thought it was funny because of the visual.
Okay. Did you think the gun itself was funny?
I don't think guns are funny.
Did you think, and of course, the gun was at all times in your presence in Mr. Spector's hands, correct?
Correct.
You didn't touch the gun?
No.
Susanna
Susan.
didn't touch the gun?
Correct.
Is that correct? And
Your Honor, this is really getting beyond scope of cross.
No, I want to get a full picture, even if it is. I want to get a full picture of this event so I can make an appropriate legal ruling.
thank you. I just have a couple more questions,
All right.
Judge.
Great on shot of Phil
when
there.
you got in your car,
Always,
do you
only
remember
on
what
Murder
Mr.
Church.
Spector did
Exclusive
or did with
shot
the
of the
gun
duel.
once you and Susanna began to drive away?
Objection is asked and answered. She already told us to turn around and walk back in the house.
The objection is overruled. You may answer.
That's basically it. We went one way, he went the other.
Okay, with the gun in his hand?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Recross.
Just briefly. Thank you. Ms. Sullivan, when Mr. Jackson was refreshing your memory a moment ago about, to you, the whole thing seemed a little silly, what did you mean when you used the term, the whole thing seemed a little silly?
You just had to be there. It came out of nowhere. He's walking down the stairs. I think he was wearing a plaid jacket because I remember thinking he looked like Elmer Fudd. The gun was bigger than he was. And he's walking downstairs with a damn gun. What the hell's that for? Protection. It was just surreal, silly.
Okay, thank you. I have a few questions. Had you ever spent the night there before?
No,
So this was the first time?
correct.
All right, I have nothing else. Anything from the people?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Nothing further.
All right, I'm going to ask you a favor. Would you step down and wait in the hallway? Do not discuss testimony with anyone, and then when we're done with legal argument, I'll bring you back.
Okay.
Thank you.
20 minutes of a legal argument after the fact here. Shit. What is the judge about to
Hey,
do?
motherfucker.
Huh?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I'll hear from the people.
Your Honor, I believe the defense has painted the picture of a defendant or of a figure of the defendant who was more of a father figure than anything else. There is substantial cross-examination on the idea that he was always gentlemanly. He pulled out chairs, he opened doors, he said please and thank you. He was very mannerly, almost chivalrous in his regard for Miss Sullivan. And it paints a picture that is very different than someone who, when the woman spent the night for the very first time, the only time in her life that she's ever been in his residence overnight, lo and behold, there's a gun that appears again. Granted, there are circumstances that are different from Ms. Clarkson's. There are circumstances that are different from the other 1101B incidents. However, it does bear on the defendant's propensity, his specific desire when he has a woman in the house. He has immediate access to guns, and he utilizes those guns. Whether he threatened her with it or not is for the jury to weigh in balance. Certainly, we're not going to claim that he threatened her with it. Certainly, we're not going to claim that all the same factors were at play, as with Lana Clarkson, as with the other 1101B witnesses. But to paint the defendant in a light that he was just this fatherly figure, when was the last time you heard of a father walking his daughter to the bus station with a shotgun in his hand? I think it gives the jurors a false impression of who the defendant is. He had immediate access to a weapon, and he was willing to pull it out. And I think it bears on the overall circumstantial evidence that, in fact, this was his weapon, the murder weapon at issue, that he pulled it out, that he had immediate access to it, and he was willing to utilize it, which is the heart of the people's case.
Thank you. Defense.
I think I can be very brief about this. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. The first question about the answer that brought out fatherly came from the government side of this table. It wasn't brought out by the defense. On the direct examination,
No, I haven't heard back from Jay
Jackson
yet. I keep
elicited
checking.
that question specifically, and that's the answer he got, so we didn't bring it out. Secondly, it's a 352 issue. It's not an 1101B issue. This has nothing to do with 1101B, and I'm really not clear. I've listened to Mr. Jackson's argument. I'm very unclear as to what he's offering it for. He concedes there are distinct, bright-line differences between this small little episode that's been described to the court here this morning out of the presence and what we've heard from the likes of, say, Ms. Ogden Hall or Ms. Melvin or Ms. Jennings or anyone else. It's a very different situation. There were no threats. The time setting is different. The situation is different. The facts are different. So I'm not clear what he's offering it for. And I would also fold into the argument regarding 352, not on 1101B, relevancy, and also the question of materiality and the question of whether or not this is cumulative. I'm going to ask the court to keep this out. I don't think it's related. I think it's highly prejudicial, and it does not prove any of the government's case.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson.
The only thing I would answer Mr. Rosen's question, he's not sure what I'm offering it for. This is evidence that the defendant has immediate access to weapons when in his home and that he's inclined to arm himself. That's circumstantial evidence that he had immediate access to the .38 caliber Colt Cobra, that he armed himself and ultimately shot Lana Clarkson through the mouth. That's what we're offering.
Are you distinctly not offering it under 1101B?
Not.
All right. Thank you. Anything further?
I think the government's just backed the car into the cumulative and 352 garage and shut the door.
Thank you. I disagree. Although it is not being offered under 1101B, it's never been offered. It's the first time I've ever heard of it, which is why we're taking all this time to deal with it. And certainly it does differ from the other, the 1101B events that the court has let in. I have kept other events out because I thought under 352 that the probative value outweighed any prejudice from those events. In this case, though, this witness, both directly by the prosecution and through other events, it doesn't make any difference, quote, who opened the door or who went there first. That's not the important thing. What's important is what's inside the house. And in this matter, this particular witness has basically indicated a certain relationship and a certain understanding of the defendant and a certain way he conducts himself. This incident is not consistent with that. And it goes to an overall picture of explaining it, although there clearly, because of the nature of the other events, there's some prejudicial value. The probative value far outweighs it as far as I'm concerned, and I will allow the prosecution to go into it, and the defense may counter it any way it wishes that's appropriate. With that in mind, let's bring the witness back in and let's bring the jurors in.
Yeah, let's go. Thanks, Judge Diehard.
And for the record, you did know about this incident. Apparently, it was part of discovery. You did know about the incident because it was part of discovery. It is not a surprise.
No, it's in the discovery.
Thank you.
Both in the report and in the tape.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. All right, the record will reflect the parties, jurors, alternates, the witness.
Bringing her back?
Our president is heretofore. Mr. Jackson, you may resume.
They did.
Thank you,
They brought her
Your
back.
Honor.
She's like, you're not getting out of here yet.
Back to the night that you actually spent the night at the Alhambra Castle, Mr. Spector's residence, and I think you indicated that that may have been back as far as 1997 or 1998?
Correct.
Okay, do you remember the specific date?
It was a Friday night.
Okay. Having that time or that incident in mind, you've already explained to the jurors, and I don't want to go over it all again, how the evening progressed, and you ultimately, along with Susanna, spent the night. Is that right?
That's correct.
The next morning, let me make sure I make this clear. You did not spend the night in Mr. Spector's room romantically. You had your own room, correct?
That's correct.
Susanna had her own room.
Correct.
The next morning, when you awoke, did you see Susanna?
Yes.
Did you two, at some point, you and Susanna, decide that you were going to go ahead and leave and go home?
Yes.
That next morning, did you see Mr.
Yeah, you can't just be like, I need a steak. Get me a steak, because you're going to get... You don't want a Dollar Tree steak coming through. I've seen those actually cooked, and they don't even, cook like regular meat. I don't know what the fuck that is, but...
Yes.
Where did you first make contact with Mr. Spector that morning?
Outside my room.
And tell me what happened after that.
When it was outside my room, or?
Correct. When you made contact with him, let us know. We weren't there. You were. Explain to us what happened. When you made contact with Mr. Spector, did all y'all go downstairs?
Oh, okay. Apparently, I'd woken up first, so I started to get ready, took a shower, and then I wanted to wake everybody up. I did go to Susanna's room and just said outside her door.
And again, Dollar Store and Dollar Tree are two different things. The Dollar Store meat's probably not that bad, actually. It'd probably be even a normal-ish price. Dollar Tree steak is something from another planet.
Susanna, no answer. So I took my shower, peeked my head outside the door. I didn't hear any noises or anybody talking or anything. So then I thought I'll make as much noise as possible to try to get this party going. So I put on the blow dryer, and bam, next thing you know, Philip was in my doorway, and he said, "Where's Susanna?"
And what happened after that?
I said, I don't know. I don't think she's up. And then he disappeared.
At some point, did Susanna get up?
She did.
At some point, did you and Susanna make contact with Mr. Spector?
As we were leaving.
You and Susanna decided you were going to leave together?
She drove.
I was going to ask you, were you in the same car?
Yes.
As you and Susanna began to leave, what happened?
Philip, we were in the foyer, and Philip said, "I'll be right back," and he went upstairs.
Do you know where he went?
I do not.
How long did he leave for?
It seemed like a while.
Did that seem unusual to you?
It just seemed weird. We didn't know what he was doing.
Was it out of place?
I'm going to check.
Vague, I'll sustain it.
I'll ask a different question. Ms. Sullivan, where were you and Susanna when Mr. Spector disappeared?
In the middle of the foyer.
Nice. Well, I picked the Phil Friday shirt.
What happened as you waited downstairs?
Philip reappeared walking down the stairs.
And what did you notice at that time?
That he was holding a large gun that I've described as either a rifle or a shotgun. I don't know. I don't know guns.
Do you know the difference between a rifle and a shotgun?
I don't.
Was it a long gun that a person normally would use 2 hands to carry?
Well, objection. It's fake.
I think that's, as opposed to perhaps a pistol, you can tell the difference between a rifle and a shotgun.
It's probably fucking deer meat that they found on the side of the road. No matter any kind of meat, probably any kind of animal. They're just like, this is steak. This is dollar store steak.
And a pistol.
Yeah.
It was a long gun.
It's big.
Process that.
Okay. What, if anything, did you say when you saw Mr. Spector come down the stairs with this long gun?
I just know that I've seen a dollar store steak be cooked, and it does not even look like real meat being cooked. It's fucking weird. It's on the internet. Hold on,
Suzanne
I'll
and
show
I
it.
looked at each other and just said, oh. And then we looked at him and said at the same time, what is that? Or what's that for?
What, if anything, was Mr. Spector's response?
He said one word. He said protection.
Were you uncomfortable having seen that gun?
Yes.
Why?
I don't like guns.
Why not?
Bad things happen when guns are around.
How was Mr. Spector carrying this gun?
It was pointed down the whole time.
May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
You may.
What happened after Mr. Spector got down the stairs with the long gun in his hand?
He just simply walked out with us.
Was Mr. Spector holding the gun down the whole time?
I believe he was.
It was pointed at the ground?
Yes.
You did not feel like you were being assaulted or threatened with the gun yourself?
Not at all.
You did not feel like Susanna was being assaulted or threatened with the gun herself?
No, I didn't.
Where was your car parked?
Directly in front.
And I said your car. I
car.
understand you meant her car, correct? Okay. Was it in a motor court area?
Yes, it's a courtyard.
Okay, and there's a fountain there?
Yes.
So that's toward the back of the house?
Yes, it's the back, or technically the front.
Whatever, there's a
I
big
know,
fountain there,
yeah.
and the garage is that side, and there's a
Yes.
big motor court, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What did you see happen after you got in the car with Susanna? What did you see the defendant do?
He walked the other way.
What, if anything, did you and or Susanna say to each other after you got in the car?
Well, we were both very shocked by it, and we're just, what was that?
Was that the last time you had seen Mr. Spector before this February 2nd, 2003 incident or date?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination or recross? Certainly.
Never leave here again. You now live in that seat, lady.
Ms. Sullivan, this incident that you just told us about here, this occurred sometime in 1997, 1998, correct?
Correct.
And this occurred at the home, Mr. Spector's home in Alhambra, correct?
Correct.
And as I understand it, it's a large house, correct?
Correct.
All right. There's a fountain outside either the front or back door, depending upon who's describing it, correct?
Correct.
This fountain, was it going at the time that you left, do you recall, or when you arrived?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, okay. So you couldn't help us with how loud it was, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, as I understand it, you spent the night, you had your own room.
Correct.
Suzanne spent the night, she had her own room.
Correct.
And during the course of the evening, Mr. Spector never invaded your room or Suzanne's room as far as you know.
Correct.
And when you woke up the next morning, you decided it was time to leave, correct?
Correct.
And so you started to get ready to leave by taking a shower, doing your hair, and cleaning up, right?
Correct.
And presumably Suzanne was doing the same thing. Because at some point you join up with her in the
Correct.
foyer and
Yes.
she's dressed and ready to go.
Yes.
All right, and
I'm pretty sure he was out on
informed
bail.
Philip that you were ready to leave, correct?
On bond.
Correct.
And Philip said, Didn't say anything, he just disappeared for a short time, correct?
Correct.
And when he came back down, you saw him walking down the stairs?
Yes.
Okay, and your recollection is he had a rifle or a shotgun with him, correct?
That's correct.
Now, as I understand it, the rifle or the shotgun, whatever it was pointed down at the ground, correct?
Yes, it was.
And that weapon, until you and Suzanne got in the car and left, was never, ever pointed at you, was it?
No, it was not.
It was never, ever pointed at Suzanne, correct?
Correct.
It was always pointed at the ground, correct?
Yes.
And it was always at his side, correct?
Yes.
And he never threatened you or Suzanne with that weapon at any time, correct?
That's correct.
Never pointed at you, correct?
Correct.
Never touched you with it, correct?
Correct.
Never used it as a weapon to strike you or Suzanne with, correct?
Correct.
And he never
This is true, then
any menacing
you're very
words to you at all. In fact, I think you said the only thing he said is when you asked him what for, one word, protection.
Correct.
When you got to the vehicle, you got in, correct?
Correct.
Suzanne got in?
Correct.
Do you recall who was driving?
Suzanne.
So you got in the front passenger seat?
Correct.
And when you turned, Philip was walking back in towards the house, correct?
Yes.
Away from you?
Correct.
With his back turned to you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you've described this incident previously to the case agent, Detective Fournier, in this case. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And in describing this to him, you indicated that you thought the whole thing was a little silly, didn't you?
I did.
In fact, you even went on and indicated to him that you thought, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm quoting your words, it was the funniest picture in the whole wide world. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. You made the comment to Susanna, or she made the comment to you once you were in the vehicle, what the hell was that all about, right?
Correct.
In kind of a jovial way, right?
Correct.
When you indicated that you became nervous and uncomfortable and scared, you weren't scared of Philip, were you?
No.
You weren't nervous because of the Philip person, were you?
No.
And you weren't uncomfortable with Philip the person, were you?
No.
What brought you discomfort and concern and nervousness was the weapon, correct?
That's correct.
You just, at that time, and probably even present, don't like weapons, right?
That's correct.
And you don't like being around weapons.
That's correct.
And you don't like being around guns in particular.
Correct.
That's true, is it not, ma'am, whether it's a rifle or a shotgun or a pistol or a revolver or a semi-automatic or any kind of weapon, correct?
Correct.
Oh, sorry,
and
guys.
For your
Gotcha. Fixing that right now.
purposes, your discomfort and concern had nothing to do with Philip holding it. Anybody could have been holding that weapon that morning, and you would have felt the same way, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Thank you
The
very
Wigs.
much. Thank you,
Call-
redirect.
They're dead heat, 55 votes.
Holding the shotgun. It
Shag
was
is barely
Philip
winning.
Spector, wasn't it?
Yes.
And when you
Good thing I am buying both, because it's a
Susanna finally left,
basically a tie.
didn't you say, quote, "What the hell was that?" And that I'm so glad that we're out of there right now?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, recross.
Thank you. One more.
Oh, God, this should be the last one.
Ms. Sullivan, there were no bodyguards there that morning, were there?
No.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. And when you saw Philip for the first time coming down the stairs with a weapon, did he have a jacket on, kind of like a coat jacket like I have?
No.
What did he have on?
Some plaid thing.
Was there some cartoon character that came to mind when you saw him walking down the stairs?
Yes.
Why don't you tell the jury who you thought he looked like?
He looked like Elmer Fudd.
Thank you. Thank you. Redirect?
Nothing else.
All right. About ready to leave?
Yeah.
All right. Keep in mind the admonition not to discuss your testimony with anyone except the attorneys in this case. Subject to recall, you're excused. Thank you for being here. You may step down.
Thank you.
You have another witness?
That was brutal.
All right.
But I don't believe that lady on a lot of different things. We're going to go into the next part here. I just want to see how long it is. We got 26 minutes. Hell yeah, we're going to be able to roll on through this. Who we got here? Trader Vic's Beverly Hills General Manager Shai Rohana and bartender Ming Fong Chu take the stand. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Look at them fucking names out here. Murder them names, bitch. All right, let's go. Let's get... Oh, wait. Mandy's merch is right here as well. Don't forget about Mandy's merch. That's not what I was doing. Boom! Right here, we're about to do another spin. Give me 1 second. We're going to have another winner of some more merchandise. Shit, J Money. J Money coming through in the heels. Let's go. Hell yeah. J Money. PubliclyBuzzed.com. Pick you some merch. Get in my email. PubliclyBuzzed@gmail.com and let me know what you want. Get me your deets. And keep her rolling, baby. We've already got a couple more for the next spin, I believe. Let me see. No, maybe don't. Maybe we're caught up right now. I don't see anything in my email from the Cash Apps or anything. I think we are currently caught up. I'm going to put your name right here on the winners list and wait for your information. Still waiting for RX Girl to get with me with what she wants and her deets. Got Wild Sides info. Jersey Jen is giving hers to Jay for his birthday. And then Bonnie Bailey sent me her information. And I think I'm caught up at that point besides you, Jay Money. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We ain't messing around.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I'm telling you like it is, baby.
Love it.
Spell your first and last name for the record.
Chai Brojana, CHAIROJANA.
Thank you, sir. If you sit back and pull the microphone towards you, then you won't have to lean forward. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I do, I would like to mark an exhibit. I believe our next in order is number 15.
It is.
Thank you. It's People's 15 for identification. This is actually a copy of a receipt from the Beverly Hilton Trader Vic's. May that be so marked?
It doesn't appear to be a receipt. It appears to be a recipe.
Oh, looks like we've already done that.
Okay.
That's a lot.
So the one you're marking is 15. There you go.
Well, we'll go get to 15 later if that's okay.
All right.
This is going to be 11. Thanks.
All right. You're going. You may. That is what's being shown is 11. It's already been marked.
Right.
Okay. We haven't marked it. We'll mark 15 in a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
We can. It's a recipe for a Navy garage.
All right. 15 will be so marked.
Thank you. Sir, I'd like to invite your attention to February of 2003. What was your occupation then?
General Manager of Trader Vic's.
Where? Which Trader Vic's?
At Beverly Hills.
And you're still employed in
Yes,
that position, is that correct?
Correct.
As of 2003, how long had you been employed at Trader Vic's?
Before that, you mean?
Yes, how long? How long did you work there?
1994.
So you'd have
74. 78 Trader Vic, 94 in Beverly Hilton.
So you've been with that organization for a long time?
Correct, yes.
As the general manager of Trader Vic's in Beverly Hills, generally speaking, what are your duties?
Take care of everything, start from take care of customer, see the customer, make sure everything going well, smooth, the waiter serving the customer, so on.
Make sure everything runs correctly.
Correct, yeah. Yes.
I'd like to invite your attention, and I put people
Finally got to escape.
11 down in front of you on the witness stand, and we also have it here on the board. Do you recognize this?
See Phil right there? Do you see Phil hanging?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
That's a copy of a receipt from our restaurant.
It's a copy of a receipt from your restaurant on February 2nd, 2003. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Tell us briefly how that's prepared.
What it does when the customer sit down at the table, the server go to the customer and take the order. Once the order received, they go to the micro system, which the ordering system device, and the entry to that system, and it will go through the kitchen or go to the bar, whatever they order.
And so at the end of the evening, or at the end of the customer's meal at your restaurant, this receipt, People's 11, would be generated. Is that correct?
Correct, sir. Yeah.
Generated by the computer there in the restaurant?
Correct, yes.
And it's done at or near the time, obviously, that people finish their meal.
Correct, yes.
And I assume it's accurate and correct, so you guys get paid right?
Right.
Okay. Now let's focus our attention on this specific receipt, People's 11. As we noted, it is a receipt for February 2nd, 2003. Is that right?
Correct, yes. Mm-hmm.
And right next, we've highlighted that up there on the screen, the date.
Show how much this
There's
guy
a
was
time
drinking.
next to it, 10:41 p.m. What does that mean? When is that in the evening?
That's when the server enter the order to the machine, to the device. Yeah.
So if I came into your restaurant on that day and sat down, the waiter would come over, take my order, correct?
Yes.
And then come back to the electronic equipment and enter the order, so the kitchen would know or the bartender would know. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that when that occurred at 10:41?
Yes, sir. Up here.
In the evening?
Yes.
Okay. This couple or this person, and it turns out we can tell who it is, correct?
Correct, yes.
It's P. Spector.
Right, it's showing the checks.
Okay. Who used the diner's card? Isn't that what the People's 11 shows us?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And does it tell us how many people were at the table?
2 person.
So when the waiter at Trader Vic's came up to...
Damn, Catherine just came through again. Going to start the new will with a 1420 cash ass drop. No, a Cash App drop. Catherine, thank you so much. Coming through here huge this morning. She wants a shirt. She did say that she feels lucky. But even if we don't fill this up completely today, you will be the first name on the new one. I'm going to start the new list right now, Catherine. 1420, though. Holy fucking shit. Let's go. We ain't playing around this morning. Buzz Nation coming through. Thank you so much. That's crazy.
Mr. Spector and his guests, they ordered what?
Let's go.
Correct. That's what's showing on the check, yes.
And it shows they ordered 2 Amaretto sours, right?
Yes.
And 2 navies.
Correct.
What's a navy?
It's of a cocktail.
Is it a signature cocktail at your restaurant?
One of that, yes.
And it's a navy's really a navy grog, is that correct?
That's a full name, yes.
Okay. And Mr. Spector and his guests also ordered a Diet Coke and a regular Coke. Is that right?
Does appear to be, yes, on the check.
So at some point, Mr. Spector was presented with this bill at the end of his evening, at least at your restaurant. What time did that occur?
Oh, excuse me. Objection. No foundation.
Well, the way the question was asked, the objection is sustained. He can testify as to what the records show.
Can you tell us, by looking at People's 11, what time this bill was presented to Mr. Spector at your restaurant on February 2nd, 2003?
It show on there, from the check, it show 11:53.
So as we're looking at People's 11 on the board, that's on the right-hand side of the screen, correct?
Yes.
And so Mr. Spector eventually signed it, and is that right? You see that down here on People's 11, bottom of the right-hand side?
Yes.
And did he leave a tip? Can you tell from People's 11 whether or not Mr. Spector left a tip that evening?
Yes.
And what was it from the exhibit People's 11?
The total $150.
Was it split in some way according to the exhibit?
Yes, on three-way, but I couldn't read that well who is that to.
Remember, there's one right in front of you, too. There's a copy
I know,
right
but
there.
it's his handwriting. I really cannot spell. So the second one, I cannot tell who is that.
All right. Well, it looks like there might be a John. Do you remember a John there at the time?
Yes, John.
And a Mike?
Mike, yes, the server.
And the middle one, I can't figure out either.
Neither
so.
do I, yeah.
Okay. But he left a $150 tip.
Yes.
Based on the exhibit People's 11, can you tell how much the bill was?
The total bill, including everything, is $192.22.
And so what he purchased, the alcohol and the other non-alcoholic drinks he purchased that night came to a total of $42.22, right? You see
Correct,
that?
yes.
And with the tip, as you indicated, was $192.22.
Total.
Oh, yes. Again, looking at the exhibit People's 11 for identification, can you tell what time that this check was closed out?
At midnight, 12 a.m.
So in the total process, Mr. Spector would have been presented with this bill around 11:53, indicated how much he wanted to leave for a tip, signed it, and then it would have been run in the machine and closed out. Is that right?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Nothing further at this time.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Welcome. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, Rojana?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I messed it up. I said Rohana. It's Rojana. Jay! Jay! Happy birthday to you. Just got back from the thrift. I got the message. Hell yes. My man, pick out a shirt, anything you want from PubliclyBuzzed.com, and that will be on its way to your home, my friend. Get in there. Hell yes. Jersey Jen giving you a birthday gift live on Murder Church.
Can you get that back up there, please? I'm going to ask you a few more questions other than what Mr. Dixon asked you, okay? Let's take a look at this again. And Jen, could I have your assistance in highlighting a couple of these portions of this exhibit, please? Again, People's 11 for the record, Your Honor.
Mr. Rojana, let's take a look at first the time again and the date, February 2nd, 03 at 10:41 p.m., correct? Mm-hmm. Now, as I understand, that's the time in which the order is placed, is that
correct? Yes.
And as I understand it, the bill was presented.
Hey, I'm going to play this real quick. This is, Dizzy sent me this earlier. I think that Jay knows what's going on here. It is Jay's birthday. Happy birthday, my man. I love Jay to death. Hold on. I want to make sure the sound's right. Jay, brother from another mother.
It's your birthday.
Our little baby's all grown up. You know what? Shut up. Come on. No. Our little baby's all grown up.
Sweet birthday, baby.
Happy birthday. You're grown up. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It is your birthday, period. Statement of fact. Hey! Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Lord.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Because you're grown up and you're grown up and you're grown up.
Happy birthday, dude. Hell yeah, man. Thank you, Dizzy. I'm glad you reminded me of that. Happy birthday. I would sing the whole song, but that would not be good. Oh, shit, the sale. Damn it, I knew that was going to happen. My bad. Hold on, we'll go back just a little bit. I was looking at the chat there. My bad. Hold on. I'm the king of that.
A little over an hour late, right?
For this show, yes.
And then the 12 a.m. Time, which appears at the bottom on the left-hand side, that reflects the time at which actually the ticket was closed, right?
Yes.
That means it was paid.
Correct, yes.
And as Mr. Dixon brought out, as I understand, the total bill that evening was $192.22, right?
Yes.
And of that, $150 were in gratuities to the employees who are listed, two names of which I agree with Mr. Dixon you can read, Mike and apparently looks like John, and the middle name we can't read. When you take a look at that middle name, Jen, can we blow that up, please? When you take a look at that little name, does that help you at all? It looks like the first letter is a B.
Looks like Bill to me, possibly.
I was going to say a B, and I'm looking at it, it sort of looks like Bill. Did you have a gentleman or a lady working that evening named Bill?
No.
Is there anybody that was working that particular evening that you can recall? Just take a moment and think about it. Whose first name started with the letter B as in boy?
First of all, I wasn't there that evening.
You weren't there?
Not evening. Not evening. Not that evening, no.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
That raises another question. So when this order was placed at 10:41 p.m., you weren't there, right?
No, I wasn't there.
And when the tab was closed out at 12 a.m., you weren't there, correct?
No, I wasn't there.
And therefore, Mr. Rodon, as I understand it, you're really here just to assist us to interpret the in-housekeeping accounting of Trader Vic's, correct?
Correct.
You didn't serve Mr. Spector that night,
No,
did you?
I did not.
Okay. And since you weren't there, obviously, you don't know what was consumed and what wasn't consumed at his table during that evening, correct?
Correct.
So all...
I forgot to move my light back.
Sorry. It's all right.
I hate this man. I hate this man so much.
Where do you usually go? Okay. So we put that back up, please.
Oh, shit. Damn, the mullet's a little bit behind. We've gotten up to 62 votes this morning. The shag is winning, and anybody that did not see, yes, indeed, I'm going to be buying both wigs. So don't fret. I'm going to be buying this wig right here. Right here. I can kind of try it on a little early, and then I'm also going to be buying a mullet wig. The mullet was in here also. There's a mullet. This guy right here. This dude. Be buying this one. Kind of try it on real quick. Just a little bit. So we'll be getting that one. And then I'm also going to get the shag. The one that we were just on. Boom. Because this one's basically what he's actually rocking in the freaking trial. Yeah. Tell me that's not the same. You can get both of those bad boys.
Let's start on one side. The date and the time. The time at the bottom. Yes, that. And the time at the bottom. And then three names, correct?
You want them to
Sure.
Sorry, that's not what I'm...
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. If you get the highlight, there we go. Okay. And the gratuity on the other side, please. Okay. Take it back to square one. There's a little bit less information on this exhibit, which I'm sure the court...
I understand what you mean.
And that's why we decided to go to this exhibit. Okay.
I mean, I could rock a red fro. What's crazy is, like, I never even put in specific ginger. It's just like, this guy needs ginger.
John, let's take a look at this again. So as I understand it, you don't know at all what was consumed at the table that night, correct?
Correct.
And since you weren't there, and I know this sounds like a silly question, but since you weren't there, you weren't asked to join Mr. Spector that evening at the table to have drinks with him, correct?
Correct.
And so you don't know anything about what happened because you weren't geographically there.
actual things.
What this
You wanna pull
tells you,
that off,
sir, is
Jan?
basically what was ordered. That's the basic tenor of this exhibit, right?
Correct.
Not who drank what or how much.
Correct, yes.
And just briefly, as I understand it, your responsibility as the general manager at the Beverly Hills Trader Vic's has been in place since 1994?
Correct, yes.
So you've been at that particular location as of February of '03 for almost a decade, almost 10 years, right?
Yes.
And as I understand it, you've been with the company or the corporation since '74.
70, yes, correct.
So you're like...
I mean, 78, I'm sorry, 78, yeah.
You're like their
So
longest...
long.
That's okay. So you're their longest employee, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. May I have a vote, Your Honor, please?
Thank you, Mr. Nothing further. Thank you. Redirect.
Nothing further. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is Trader Vic's closing, sir?
No, we relocated.
Relocated, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, don't discuss your testimony with anyone except the attorneys in this case. Thank you.
We're about to swap and have a new someone else come up here, but Jenna Seavers coming through here with the $1.99 and giving a happy birthday to Jay, and she gets on the wheel for giving me the $1.99 and wishing happy birthday to Jay. Let me get you on here real quick, get you on the list that Catherine has started the new one of right here. Jenna Seavers, also welcome in here, Jenna. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Get that on here just so I don't miss any. It's been really active this morning, and I appreciate every bit of it. Just been absolutely cool as hell. Yeah, we're about to get, I believe, who's next up here? Meet the bartender, Ming Fong Chu. Let's see if I said that one right. Probably not. But let's
Thank you for being here, subject to recall.
Appreciate
You're
it, guys.
excused and
Thanks
you
for
may
hanging and
step
banging.
down. Thanks.
Murder
Chairman of the
Church,
witness.
growing every week, every day.
Fong Chu.
All right.
Please
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Would you please tell us your name and then spell it, please?
My name is Ming Fong Chu.
I nailed that one, son of a bitch! I nailed that one! I nailed that one!
Can you spell it for us, please?
MINGFONGCHU.
Okay. MINGFONG SHU? CHU. Thank you. If you sit back, sir, and pull the microphone right underneath your chin, we can hear you and you won't have to lean forward. That's great. Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Let it be known.
What's your current job? What do you do?
I'm bartender
And where are you a bartender?
in Trader Vic's.
And how long have you been a bartender at Trader Vic's?
Almost 35 years.
So you were a bartender there in 2003, February of 2003, correct?
Yes.
And throughout those 25 years as a bartender, I'm sure you've become very, very familiar with their Trader Vic's important drinks.
Yes.
Ever heard of a Navy grog?
Yes.
What is a Navy grog?
Navy grog is fish lime juice, grapefruit juice, black candy salad, and Navy grog mix, dark rum, light rum, and
I'm sorry, one more time.
Dark rum, light rum.
Oh, this would be rough for the court reporter.
Demerara rum.
We know where you've been hiding.
No, but I'm writing this down. Thank you.
That's just for appearances.
Your Honor, earlier I marked people's 15 for identification. Actually, I hope it's the recipe for, and we need to get it. Looks like we've been drinking some.
It looks clear to me.
I think I rest my case.
Oh, there we go. Mr. Chu, I'd like to invite
If anybody ever wants to make a Navy grog, there's your ingredients.
your attention up to our screen. This is what we've called the People's 15 for identification. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. You just told us the ingredients or the recipe for your Navy grog at Trader Vic's.
Yes.
Do you see it up here on the screen, People's 15?
Yes.
So it has 3 different kinds of rum, is that correct?
Right.
Light, dark, and then what's the third one?
Demerara rum.
Okay. That's some special type of rum?
Yes.
Okay. And then the grog mix, is that a specialty to Trader Vic's?
Yes.
Grape juice, rock candy, syrup, and fresh lime juice.
Right.
Bet over your career you made a lot of those.
Oh, yes.
Is that a strong drink?
Yes.
Do you remember if you were actually working
we were
on
look it up
February
last
2nd
Tuesday
of 2003?
Yes.
In February.
We didn't know we were going to get a
2003?
intricate,
Were you working
detailed
that weekend?
Yes.
look at the
Do you
beverage.
remember whether or not you actually made a drink for Philip Spector?
Because we got free bartender every night. We make the drink only from the computer.
Okay. So you aren't sure? You don't remember because you made so many drinks?
Yeah, I made a lot of drink, but I don't know which drink.
But you know how to make that drink?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Oh, God.
It is still. Good morning, Mr. Chu.
Jesus.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm going to ask you some questions like Mr. Dixon just did, okay?
Okay.
Let's take a look at that recipe again.
As I understand it, we might be giving away the trade secrets here to the public, but as I understand it, there's 7 different ingredients that go into a Trader Vic's Navy grog. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, there's 1 ounce of dark rum, 1 ounce of light rum, and 1 ounce of Demerara rum. Is that right?
Demerara.
Okay. I'm going to let you pronounce it. I'm going to butcher it if I say it again. But there's other things that go into it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, there's grog mix, right?
Yes.
And there's grapefruit juice, correct?
Yes.
And there's rock candy syrup, correct?
Yes.
And there's fresh lime juice, correct?
Yes.
And in terms of making this drink, you make it in, I guess, a wide and a fairly large glass. Can you show us maybe with your hands how big the glass is?
15 ounces.
15 ounces?
The glass.
15 ounces, okay. So you have a 15-ounce glass that has 1 ounce of dark rum.
Yes.
1 ounce of light rum. And 1 ounce of, help me.
Yeah.
Help me, what is the third one?
Demerara rum.
Demerara rum. So that leaves 12 additional ounces in that glass, correct, after you've put the rum in?
No.
Well, the glass is 15 ounces, right?
Yes.
If we just took the glass and we put 3 ounces of rum in, we'd have 12 ounces of emptiness in the glass to put other things in, like the grog mix, the grapefruit juice, the rock candy syrup, and the fresh lime juice and ice, right?
Nice.
Okay. So we have 3 ounces of liquor, and then we have 12 ounces of a combination of the grog mix, the grapefruit juice, the rock candy syrup, the fresh lime juice, and ice, right?
Yes.
Okay. You've been a bartender for a very long time, correct?
Yes.
When you first make a drink, let's talk about a Trader Vic's Navy grog. When you first make a Trader Vic's Navy grog, and you put it up on the counter for the server to take to the table, at that point it is complete and ready to go, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There's ice in there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's trying to get at.
Yes.
With this prodding
You took
of
that drink
the Navy grog for
and let it
fuck's sake.
sit.
Oh, God.
Nobody drank it. You just let it sit. And the ice were to melt.
Right.
It would dilute the alcohol, correct?
Yes.
You do not remember seeing Mr. Spector that evening, do you?
I think, yes, I do.
You do remember seeing him? Or you do not remember seeing him?
I do.
Okay. Do you remember speaking with a detective about this on February 9th, 2003, and the detective's name, sir, was Richard Tomlin and another detective, Paul Fournier. Remember talking to the officers on February 9th, 2003?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And do you remember when you talked to the officers, you told them that you do not remember seeing Mr. Spector that evening and cannot comment on his appearance? Do you remember telling Detective Fournier and or Detective Tomlin that when they talked to you on February 9th of 2003?
I don't remember.
Okay. I have a report here. I have Mr. Tomlin and Mr. Fournier's report. If I brought it up to you so that you could read that one sentence, might it help you to refresh your memory?
Counsel, can you come up to the bench briefly? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chu, I just have a couple questions. If I brought the report up to you and let you read it for a moment, might it refresh your memory?
Okay.
Yeah,
yes, you may.
Thank you. I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to show you one sentence. Just read it to yourself, okay, sir? Just here where it says, Mr. Chu said. Just read that one sentence there to yourself. Okay? Does that help you to remember that you told Detective Tomlin and Fournier that you did not remember seeing Mr. Spector that evening and you could not comment on his appearance?
I guess.
Okay, all right.
Oh my God.
That's fine. Let's talk about the drink if we can for a moment. So as the ice melts, it dilutes the alcohol, correct?
Yeah, this dude doesn't give a fuck.
So if somebody wanted to get the most effect of the alcohol, they
It's
would
not
drink
even
that
gonna
drink
get if I
right
keep cutting,
away.
remember.
But if they waited a while or sipped at it, the strength
barely
of the
understands.
alcohol diminishes, correct?
I guess.
Okay. Let me just ask you a couple questions. You've made Navy grogs now for how many? A lot of years, huh?
Yeah.
And you've made, what, thousands, hundreds of thousands of those drinks, correct?
But most thing is Mai Tai.
Mai Tai is the most. Shh.
I mean, I think he understands pretty well.
I already know it.
You might need counsel after this session.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Chu, so Mai Tai is the most popular drink, and then you you've already said that you do make a lot of Navy grogs over the years.
Yes.
Okay. It's not unusual for a customer to order a Mai Tai, is it? No?
Everybody like Mai Tai.
Okay,
Yeah, I
like
don't
your Mai Tai.
understand is an issue. I think
Yes.
this is just like, what the
Mai Tai,
fuck?
not
I mean,
my
this is
Mai.
like
Okay,
one
but you make the Mai
moment
Tai,
of
right?
my
Yeah.
life.
And you make the
I'm
Navy
supposed to
grog,
remember
correct?
this?
Yes.
And everybody likes the Navy
Thousands
grogs
of
too,
these.
correct?
Yeah.
All right. You said that a Navy grog is on the strong side. It's not the strongest drink you can make, and it's not the weakest, right?
Yes.
Okay. And just a couple of other questions. Do you recall how many Navy grogs you made that evening, total for the whole restaurant?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Dude, I'm just trying to make a living.
Thank you very much, sir. Nothing further.
Thank you. Redirect.
No, thank you, Your Honor. Nothing
All right.
further.
Subject to recall, you
Free
must step
my
down. Thank
man.
you for being here. You can discuss your testimony with
Lord.
anyone. It's
All
okay.
right, where we going?
All right.
It's 12:08. Are we going to keep rolling this morning, or will this be calling it? It will depend on the length
Keeping
of
in
this
mind the
next
admonition, we'll be in recess till
installment
1:30 this afternoon. Thank you.
in this series of videos. 36 minutes. We're going to keep on rolling, baby. Stick with me here. Dantana's, very fun name to say, Dantana. Dantana's a waiter. Manuel, sure, I'm going to butcher this one. Chudra. I'm going to say it's Chudra takes the stand. I'm going to show it to you. Chudra. Let's see if it's Manuel Chudra. We got 36 minutes. Everybody hanging out this morning. Appreciate it. Let me go through anything I might have missed because this, oh my God, this is full this morning. Holy shit. Wow, I probably did miss some of the. I think I named these out and put them up, but let's do a little bit right here. Yeah, we're hanging and banging this morning. We're going to hang to it. At least if it would go to 1 or something, that's where I'm mostly at. But the time fluctuates by the the way the videos land also in the time. We got 36 more minutes and it's for sure. Pokemon coming through here at the $1.99. Let's bang these out pretty quickly here. RX Girl was wanting on that wheel also. $4.99 coming through here. Jersey Jen's been more than generous this morning. Let's fucking go. Tabby Cat in the motherfucking house. Let's go. Gabby coming through right behind that. Kelly Bobelli said, no, whoa, let's do it for the wig fun, baby. I don't think I can fight you for that because let's go. I'm going to buy both those wigs, though. I'm going to buy both those wigs. You're going to be rocking a wig. I'm going to be rocking a wig. I'm going to get Dan's wigs. I'm going to have a wig party every morning on Murder Church. I'm going to put that order in immediately after this. And then I'm also going to look and see the mullet and the shag are both basically neck and neck. Gabby coming through with the $3 right after that. Where I'm at right here. RX Girl said, hey, I want it back on the wheel for another trial. And she won. RX Girl also won a shirt this morning. Still waiting for your information. PubliclyBuzzed.com. Pick out anything you want. Get at me at. Whether that's on X or Twitter. You can send it in the messaging system. IM me, DM me. Or publiclybuzzed@gmail.com. Gabby, $9.99 right after that. $1.99 coming through after that by Bo Pete. Then Bo Pete said, you know what, I got one more in me, $1.99. Get me on that wheel again. And MJ ran through as soon as she came through, baby. She'd been lurking a little bit back there, hanging and banging. Boom, gifted out of membership. And all the members are going to be satisfied because, I'm going to catch my breath. I'm rolling, baby. Because members are now going to be able to see lots of dope shit coming through. Me cooking, doing wild shit, going and hanging out on the weekends. I got 2 of those videos already up for you guys. $1.99. Happy birthday, Jay. And it's been a party this morning here on Murder Church. Thanks, everyone, for coming through. And we got 36 more minutes, and it's let's fucking go. Let's see if I got this name right. Chudra. Is that what I said? Manuel Chudra.
First and last name for the record.
Manuel Quadra. Manuel, M-A-N-U-E-L, Quadra.
Quadra. I butchered.
C-U-A-D-R-A.
Thank you. If you pull that microphone right underneath your chin, we'll be able to hear you without you leaning forward. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Quadro, what do you do for a living?
I'm a waiter, sir.
Where are you working?
I work at Dantana's.
Where's that located?
9071 Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles.
Waiter. Okay. Dana's.
How long have you worked for Dantana's restaurant?
7.5 years.
Were you working on the night of, or the evening hours of February 2nd, 2003 into the morning hours of February 3rd, 2003?
Yes, I was.
And Mr. Quadro, what do your duties include as a waiter or server at Dantana's restaurant?
Take dinner and drink orders and serve them.
All right. How big a restaurant would you estimate Dantana's to be?
It's a small restaurant.
How many tables? It seats?
18, 20 tables.
18 to 20 tables?
18 to 20 tables.
Was this your first waiting job, or had you waited tables before working at Dantana's 7.5 years ago?
I waited tables before.
How long have you been waiting tables in general?
19 years.
So is it safe to say that you're pretty familiar with how the checks are rung for any particular item, either a bar item or a food item at the end of the night or at the end of a meal?
I am.
Your Honor, I'm
afternoon at this point.
Holding what has been previously marked as People's 12. It's a 3-page document, one side of which appears to be a check, a dinner check for Dantana's. It's pink in color. The other side attached to which is 2 copies of a sales draft, a credit card sales draft. Take a look at what's been, if I refer to People's 12, this is what I'm talking about, the overhead view of this particular check. Tell me if, just the whole thing. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger for you so you can read it.
I can read it.
You can read it, okay?
I
All right,
can.
you're doing better than I am. Your Honor, may I approach just in case there's...
You may.
Counsel, this is People's 12. Mr. Rosen?
I'm sorry.
I'm approaching with the actual claim check.
12?
Yes. Take a look at that document, either up on the overhead or whatever's easiest for you, the actual original document that's sitting in front of you, and tell me if you recognize that document.
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize that?
It's the current receipts that we use for printing for the credit card computer.
So if someone, I'm sorry, so if someone pays at the end of a dinner or at the end of drinks with a credit card, there's a receipt that's prepared?
That is.
And that receipt is spit out of some kind of a computer, I'm assuming?
A computer terminal, yes.
How is the information put into the computer to charge the customer for the right amount?
By hand.
Is there a terminal that you punch the screen on?
Numbers, the keys.
Okay, so it's the old-fashioned kind where you punch in.
It is very old-fashioned.
All right. You like it that way?
I like them all.
All right.
What all, Daddy?
Do you remember
Try to put me in a box.
on February 2nd, the night of February 2nd, or maybe the early morning hours of February 3rd? Well, as a matter of fact, why don't I withdraw that question and ask you something else? On that credit card receipt, is there a date and time generated by the computer to show when that receipt is either generated or closed?
Yes, it is.
And do you see the date and time on this particular receipt on People's 12?
Yes, I do.
What is that date and what's the time?
February 3rd, 2003.
And is that what's just been highlighted on the overhead for you?
That is.
Okay, and what about the time?
The time is 01, 27, and 17.
Mr. Quadra, the 127.17, is that referring to 1 o'clock in the morning on February 3rd?
Yes, it is.
What is that time in reference to? The time that the check is opened, the time that the order is made, or the time the check is closed?
The time the client is paying.
All right. So at the point at which the credit card is actually run through the system, is that right?
That is correct.
And the credit card is then debited?
That is correct.
So in other words, this particular claim check or this credit card check would have been run at just before 1:30 in the morning. Is that right?
That is correct.
You see the, let's go ahead and get rid of the highlight, Sudie. Do you see the rest of the check that indicates the amount?
Yes, I do.
Can you describe for the jurors what it is that we're looking at? How much was charged to the credit card in services, including tax, tip, etc.?
$555.25.
And that's what's just been written or been highlighted as written into the total amount, correct?
Correct.
What about the actual services that were charged, not including gratuity or tip?
$55.25.
All right, and that's indicated by the pre-printed portion of that claim check, right?
That is correct.
Credit card check. So is it safe to say, I think we can all figure it out, there was a $500 tip left on this particular credit card check, yes?
That is correct.
And I see a smile on your face. Does that bring back good, heartwarming memories for you?
It's a good tip.
Doesn't hurt, right?
No, it's good memories.
Yeah. Well said, well said. All right.
Here's what it is.
An unusually large tip for a $55 charge, correct?
That is correct.
Who left that tip for you?
Mr. Phil Spector.
Do you remember
Phil was
Spector
planning
being in the
so
restaurant
deep into the future. He was like, one day, every one of these waiters are going to have to be on the stand because I'm going to probably do some fucked up shit because I'm absolute insane egomaniac, and then they're going to save my butt because I'm going to give them all big fat tips. That he's planned it all along. I see right through you, Phil. I see right through you, Phil Spector. I see right through you.
That morning?
Yes, I do.
About what time did Mr. Spector get there?
I will say about between 12:25 and 12:30.
And what time does Dantana's close?
On Sunday night, which was that night, it's at 12:30. We close the kitchen.
At 12:30?
We stop serving dinners at 12:30.
Okay. Now, you indicated Sunday night. I know I'm being picky here. Actually, if it was 12:30, it would have been Monday morning. Are we talking about the same time?
Yeah, it will be Monday morning, but we call it Sunday.
But you had been working since Sunday evening, correct?
Yes.
All right. Do you have an independent record? By the way, were you Mr. Spector's waiter that night?
Yes, I was.
Do you also tend bar, or does somebody else take care of the bartender?
No, the bartender was a different person.
All right. Take a look at the other side of that claim check, if you wouldn't mind. And Sudie's put it up on the overhead. It's the pinkish colored claim check or dinner check with the pre-printed label Dantana's on the top. Do you see that?
I see it.
Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it? What is that? What are we looking at?
That is the document we still use for presenting for records.
Do you see the handwritten portion of the
change the name.
check?
Yes, I do.
Whose handwriting is that?
That is my handwriting.
All right. There appears to be a couple of things detailed on that check. For instance, at the very top, next to an 18, to the left of the 18. What does that say?
Would you please repeat the question? I distracted myself.
Sure. That portion of the check, what does that say?
Where it says bar, you mean?
No, above bar. Exactly above the word.
It says 2 Tana salads.
Okay.
I couldn't understand.
2 Tana salads?
2 Tana salads.
Is that in reference to a signature salad at the restaurant, for instance?
Yes, it is.
Something called a Dantana salad?
Yes, it is. Tana special salad.
All right. There were 2 of those ordered?
That is correct.
How can you tell from what's on that document that there were 2 salads ordered?
I remember.
Do you remember the price of one salad?
Yes.
Well, how much is that?
At the time, it was $9 or $8. I'm sorry.
Prices have gone up since then?
A few times.
All right. Well, there you go. That's inflation for you.
That's my living expenses.
I'm sorry?
My living expenses.
Everything's gone up except your living expenses? Good. All right. Good. Good. Yeah. Well, join the club. Beneath the Tana's salads, there's a indication of bar. What does that mean, Mr. Quadra?
What was served, but not necessarily from the bar.
Okay, what does that mean to you, where it says bar and then 33?
The big fat
to me,
tip.
it means that items from the bar were served, not necessarily everything from the bar.
Okay, in other words, the salad may have come from the kitchen. You may have been serving him at a table.
Yes.
But then there was an additional set of items ordered that would have been filled by the bar, correct?
Could be also.
Wait a minute. That's a compound question. And just as to form, not substance.
I'm not so sure it is compound. Go ahead. If you can answer the question, you may.
Can you explain that for us?
Best I can put it is not necessarily bar drinks because we also charge items to the bar that are not necessarily alcohol,
Okay.
to say.
On this particular event, on this particular occasion, during the course of this night or this early morning hours, do you remember what, if anything, Mr. Spector ordered?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you remember him ordering alcoholic drinks?
I do, but not accurate.
Thank you so much. $2.
Did you speak with some investigators before our... That's a good way to put it. Before you ever came here, were you ever interviewed by investigators about this? And was your memory fresher at the time that you were interviewed about what happened that night, at that time, than it is now?
I believe so.
All right. Were you answering these investigators honestly and as accurately as you could?
As accurate as I could.
Do you remember telling the investigators, Mr. Quadra, that when Mr. Spector came in, that he ordered a Navy grog?
No, no.
You don't remember telling them that?
Not that.
Okay. Do you remember telling them that there was a confusion by Craig Succer, S-U-C-C-E-R, about what a Navy grog was, and therefore some other drink was ordered?
If I may correct you, if that's okay with the court.
Absolutely. I'm asking for your memory.
We do not serve Navy grogs.
Understand.
At Dantanas.
I understand. That's not my question. My question is, did Mr. Spector order a Navy grog, and then did you explain to him, we don't serve Navy grogs, we don't know what that is?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember Mr. Spector ordering any drinks that night?
I remember him ordering drinks.
All right. Alcoholic drinks?
Alcoholic drinks.
Do you remember exactly what those drinks were?
No, sir.
Do you know what a daiquiri looks like?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Did the drinks that Mr. Spector ordered look like, I know you didn't taste them, I'm assuming you didn't taste them. Safe assumption?
It would be an assumption.
Okay. Would it be a safe
What about it, baby?
Would it be a safe assumption that you didn't drink out of Mr. Spector's alcoholic drinks that night?
Pardon me, I didn't hear before the question.
All right.
I will not taste Mr. Spector's drink.
Of course you wouldn't. So based on your view of what was sitting in front of him, did it look like a daiquiri to you?
I'm gonna repeat again, I don't remember.
The alcoholic beverages that you saw served to Mr. Spector, did they look like daiquiris?
Your Honor's asked and answered.
I believe he's answered the question.
If you did, Your Honor, I didn't catch it.
If I may say, it's been a long time ago.
I completely understand, Mr.
And also, as we can see in the back of the check, we did not specify, and therefore, I couldn't remember.
Okay. Based on the check and based on the amounts on the check, can you tell us approximately how many drinks Mr. Spector ordered aside from just drinks, just from the bar? How many items were ordered from the bar?
I couldn't.
Okay. Do you remember talking to me last...
Yes, I do. Thursday, May 10th.
Correct. And I asked you some of these same questions.
Absolutely.
Sleuthy Goosey, thank you
And
so much
told
for that,
me, did
that
you
share
not,
on
that
X.
you
Appreciate
believed
that.
that there were 4 drinks?
Oh, yeah.
I remember what I answered, and I thought about it, and I retract myself.
Okay. Before you retract yourself, we need to find out what you answered. What did you tell me as far as the... Hang on, Mr. Quadro. Wait till you hear the end of my sentence before you answer, all right? We can only talk one at a time. How many drinks did you tell me last Thursday, based on the receipt that you reviewed at my request? How many drinks did you say Mr. Spector ordered that night?
I did tell you 4.
Okay. And is that based, at least in part, on the price?
That is correct.
Okay. How much back in 2003 was a single drink at Dantana's?
I believe it was $8, but I'm not completely sure.
Do you know how much, and just based on your memory, do you know how much a daiquiri sold for at Dantana's in 2003?
I will say $8.
Okay. Do you know how much an amaretto sour sold for in 2003?
I believe $9.
All right. If in fact 2 daiquiris and 2 amaretto sours, well, is it possible that it could be $8.50 for the amaretto sours?
No.
Anything's possible.
Overruled. You may answer.
Is that possible?
No.
All right. If in fact 2 daiquiris and 2 amaretto sours were ordered, that would actually be a $34 tab.
That would be a $34 tab.
Can you tell us why there's a $33 charge as opposed to a $34 or $32 charge?
No, I can't.
Sorry, what? First of all, there's too much talking going on at the same time. What is the objection?
Objection was no foundation, and in light of the answer, I withdraw.
All right.
I didn't get the answer.
Okay, what was, re-ask the question, and we'll get the answer.
Yes, Your Honor. I think my question, Mr. Quadro, was based upon the amount that was charged to Mr. Spector's credit card, the $33 concerning the bar bill. Do you have a recollection as to the price of each drink that Mr. Spector was charged for?
Well, then he's asking a new question. In any event, I'll allow him to do that. You may answer.
No.
Okay, you have no
No
recollection.
reason to be drinking at the house.
On February 12th, which was...
I'm not getting the mixed drinks anyway.
9 days after this event, were you interviewed by investigators from the Sheriff's Department?
I was.
Okay. Did you see whether or not those sheriff's investigators were taking notes during the course of your interview?
I believe they were.
Were the investigators asking you questions about your best recollection of the events of that evening or the early morning hours of February 3rd?
Yes, they were.
Were you trying as best you could to answer them honestly and accurately?
As I best could, yes.
All right. And was your memory better on February 12th about what happened on February 3rd than it is now, almost 4 years, or a little better than 4 years later?
I will say so.
Okay. You indicated that you don't recall whether or not Mr. Spector ordered a Navy grog when he came in. Is that your testimony?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you think it might refresh your recollection if you were to look at a page of a report and just read it to yourself about the interview that was conducted with investigators?
I don't mind.
Okay. May I, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Rosen, this is page 169. Actually, 169 and 170. May I approach you?
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Quadro, this may take just a quick second, but I want you to start at about the 3rd paragraph down where it begins on February 12th, and I want you to read to yourself, not out loud, until you reach the end of the interview on the next page. And let me know when you're finished.
Have you finished reading?
I have.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Quadro, having reviewed this, does this refresh your recollection as to whether or not Mr. Spector ordered a Navy grog when he walked into the restaurant?
No, it doesn't.
All right. Do you believe, as you sit here today, what is your recollection about Mr. Spector ordering alcoholic beverages?
Objection, Your Honor. It's been asked and answered.
I believe you've gone over it. There's other ways to do it, and I believe this witness has indicated his ability to recall.
All right.
Sustain.
Thank you.
Did you tell investigator Fournier and/or Tomlin? There were two investigators that came and talked to you, correct?
I remember that.
All right.
Not much.
Do you remember telling the investigators that, in fact, a Navy grog was ordered, but Craig, the bartender, did not know how to make it?
Your Honor.
Excuse me.
Objection. Asked and answered.
The objection is overruled because the only way, if it ever comes in, that this testimony or this evidence will come in is by setting up the predicate for others to testify. The objection is overruled.
Thank you.
If I told you yes, I would not be telling you accurately, because as my recollection, I have never heard about that drink before, up until Thursday, May 10th, when the bartender from Trader Vic's was describing the drink, but I have never heard about the name of a drink before.
Do you remember telling investigators that Mr. Spector ordered 2 chopped salads?
I remember that.
Do you remember telling investigators that you actually went into the prep room and you prepared the chopped salads yourself?
I remember doing it myself. Probably I did tell investigators.
Did you tell the investigators that you saw when you returned that Mr. Spector had a blended yellow-colored alcoholic beverage in front of him?
That I don't remember.
Do you remember telling?
Yes.
Interrupt, Mr. Jackson. I just have a running objections to this line of inquiry on the previously stated grounds, and I'm assuming the same ruling from the court.
You assume correctly. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you remember telling investigators that during the evening, as Mr. Spector was still at the table, Mr. Spector ordered a second round of the same drink, although you did not know exactly what that drink was?
The fact that he's objecting to this line of questioning after every line of questioning that he's ever done, it's hilarious.
Do you remember saying that you do not recall who brought it to the table, but you remember that it was, quote, the same type of drink as the first one? Do you remember saying that?
I don't remember.
Did you indicate whether or not you had any recollection of the female having any alcoholic beverage that night?
I couldn't tell you.
Do you remember telling investigators that you had seen Mr. Spector roughly 30 times over the years, but you had only personally served him approximately 3 times at Dantana's? Do you remember saying that?
I might have said it because that is what I recollect from all the years that I've been there.
Do you remember telling investigators that before this particular night, you had never seen Mr. Spector drink an alcoholic beverage at Dantana's?
I might have. I don't remember telling the investigators.
With regard to the bill, both the dinner check as well as the credit card receipt, do you have any quarrel with the accuracy of the bill? The fact that it was $55.25, including tax, a $33 and an $18 charge?
No, I don't.
Do you have any quarrel with the accuracy of the $18 referencing 2 chopped salads?
No, I don't.
Do you have any quarrel with the accuracy of the $33 referencing bar bill?
No, I don't.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Mr. Quadra, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you today?
Fine, sir. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm one of Mr. Spector's lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Member of the team. As I understand it, you've been in your profession for 19 years, is that right?
That is correct, sir.
So as of February 2nd and 3rd of 2003, you've been doing this a very long time.
Yes, sir.
You're like a veteran, correct?
I am a veteran.
Okay.
Almost ready to retire.
Out of the game, son.
Well, I think after this trial, everyone else will ask you to take them with you. You indicated to Mr. Jackson that you had actually waited on Mr. Spector approximately 30 times over the years that he had personally come in to Dantana's. Is that right?
No, that is not correct.
Okay. What is correct?
At the most, 3 times I waited on Mr. Spector on all the years he came. That means not all the years, the 3 or 4 years that I've been at Dantana's at that time.
So you'd waited on him 3 or 4 times, but you'd seen him there
Not even 4, at the most 3.
Okay.
I've seen him there.
Okay, but you'd seen him there a number of
I have seen him many times.
Would it be fair, I'm going to use a phrase, if I confuse you, you let me know, I'll rephrase it.
Yes, sir.
Would you consider him at that time to have been a regular at Dantana's?
Yes.
And by regular, I mean a regular customer?
Yes.
And the staff was very familiar with him, correct?
Yes.
And sometimes, sir, you would wait on him, correct? 3 times?
Yes.
And sometimes your colleagues, other employees at Dantana's would wait on him?
Yes.
And would it be fair to say that you've always noticed Mr. Spector's been very friendly with everyone there? The employees I'm talking about, just the employees.
Friendly, not necessarily, but very professional.
Very professional. And he's always a big tipper, isn't he?
He is a very generous gentleman.
He's a generous gentleman. The tip, Jen, can we get that up on the screen, please? A little larger, please. Others, that one, please, yes. Nice and big, please. Bigger.
Yeah, this guy talks to you like you're a fucking idiot. Like, he's so condescending. I would prefer color at this time. I actually like.
You get it even bigger.
His bluntness is. At least he's honest about what's happening.
There we go. Okay.
He's not like, oh, we're
On this
friends, but actually,
particular
fuck you.
ticket, it shows a tip amount of $500, correct?
That is correct.
And that, would it be fair to say that the average customer at Dantana's, it's been your professional experience, tips somewhere between 10-15% at the low end and 25-30% on the high end? That would be the average?
That would be fair to say.
So this would be way above the average, correct?
That is way above the average.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, that $500 tip, that all didn't go to you, did it?
No, sir.
That was to be divided up, Mr. Quadra, amongst others, is that right?
That is correct.
And as I understand it, that was to be divided up amongst 5 or 6 different people, isn't that right?
Five people.
5 different people. So of the 5 people, each one individually got a $100 tip that night.
That is correct, sir.
Were you one of those that got $100?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Not 500?
No, sir.
Okay.
Good tip. No tips, still good. Spread it out. Spread the love. Hundo in your pockets, huh?
It would be correct to say, wouldn't it, that Mr. Spector is very generous with his tips in Dantana's to yourself and other employees because he respects the work that the waiters do there, right?
You can say that.
Double shots.
Objection. I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's a little late. Speculation moved to strike.
The objection is sustained. The answer is stricken. The jury's admonished.
It's after lunch, Judge. I'm sorry.
Well, it was clear to you, wasn't it, when you did wait on Mr. Spector the 3 times, he was appreciative of the work that you did, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Unless he voiced it, the objection is sustained. You can put 2 and 2 together to make 4, but you can't always ask if it's 4. Okay?
How about 3.5?
I'm not negotiating.
This
All right.
man's jokes.
Let me ask it this way, sir. Ms. Quadra, Mr. Spector has expressed to you, has he not personally, his appreciation of your services. Isn't that true?
By the way he treated us financially,
Objection.
like
It's non-responsive.
Again, it's stricken. The jury's admonished. If he hasn't stated anything specifically, then we're not going to go any further.
Let's try it this way. Each time that you waited on Mr. Spector, was he as generous as he was on the...
Yes, he was.
Okay. And you yourself took that as a sign of appreciation of service well done, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, that evening, well, let me ask this. Mr. Spector, you've waited on him 3 times and you've seen him in Dantana sometimes.
Yeah, like
he's pretty much, he's a quiet man. He usually doesn't say very much, isn't he?
He is a quiet man.
Kind of keeps to himself?
Yes.
Okay. And that evening, did he seem to be
we
in
heard
good
the
spirits?
voicemails.
That morning, whatever it was. Did he seem to be in good spirits that time?
Real meek man there.
Happy?
Yes, he was in good spirits.
Okay. And let's take a look. Jen, can I have that back up, please? let's take a look at the meal that was served, okay? The other ticket, please, the handwritten ticket. Thank you. And if you could blow that up, please, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Let's start with the top. It has the date, which is 2/2, which is February 2nd, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it shows the server is server 13.
That is correct. That is me.
That's you, right?
That is me.
And then we see that there were 2 persons at the table, and the table was table number 4.
That is correct.
By the way, table number 4, is that the usual table that Mr. Spector sits at?
That is correct.
And that's kind of in the back of the restaurant?
Yes, far north in the back of the restaurant. Northwest.
Yes, okay. And it shows, of course, the check number. Now, the first line, that's your handwriting, right?
That is my handwriting, sir.
Where it says pan salad.
Terrible handwriting, yes, it is.
No, it's fine. We can all read it. You should see mine. Okay. I get a list of the groceries and then come back from the grocery store and it's something completely different. The Tana salad, you know that's 2 Tana salads because of the price. Is that right?
That is correct. And that I remember serving them 2 Tana salad.
Because you recall making the salad.
That I made the salads myself.
You were kind enough to go back into the kitchen and prepare it for Mr. Spector and his guests because the kitchen had closed.
It was the least I could do.
I understand. And tell us, what goes into the Tana salad? What do you put in? A lot of food.
I repeat this every night.
Okay. Tell us what, even though it's after lunch, tell us what goes into it.
Iceberg lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, garbanzo beans, mozzarella cheese, and green bell peppers, and house Italian dressing.
Okay. And is that the way you prepared it that night?
Yes, and I chopped it up.
Okay. And there were 2 of them, is that right?
That is correct.
And did you also serve them, Mr. Spector?
You see, he eats like a normal person. He's just a regular guy.
It's a pretty good-sized salad, isn't it?
He's just a good old dude. He tips well.
And
you could never kill anyone. Great guy.
You wrote that there, correct?
Good dude. You
And
know
we see
John
the
Lennon.
number
Did you know that he
33
knew John Lennon
over in the
personally?
right-hand column indicating, I'm assuming, the price of that. Is that right?
The total price for the
Hanging and banging. There you go, dude. That's a
If
shirt.
I understand
That's
your
a fucking
testimony
shirt,
correct,
J-Money.
the fact that there's $33 to the right of the word bar that you wrote there on the same line, the same horizontal line, that doesn't mean that there was $33 worth of alcohol ordered, because as I think you said, oftentimes things are credited against the bar, but actually they're not of an alcoholic nature. Is that true?
That is correct.
So I understand that correctly.
That is correct.
We know that he loves
And
booze.
just by looking at this check number that you authored that morning, you can't tell what items comprise that total figure of $33. That's a fair statement, isn't it?
That is a fair statement.
Dantana's in February of 2003 served alcoholic beverages, is that right?
That is correct.
But Dantana's also served non-alcoholic beverages, correct?
That is correct.
For example, if somebody wanted to order a soft drink, Dantana's would provide that, correct?
That is correct.
Dantana's could provide a regular Pepsi.
That is correct.
Dantana's could provide Diet Pepsis, right?
That is correct.
And both of those beverages
Putting the
were
doubt
available
out there that he
to
might not have
the
been drinking?
customer, the public, in February of 2003.
That is correct.
Sir, do you recall Mr. Spector ordering some regular Pepsis and or Diet Pepsis that evening?
I'm sorry, I don't recall.
I wish you'd have been like, oh, yes, of course. Yes, that's all he loved them.
Report
Diet
that Mr.
Pepsis.
Jackson referred you to
Chug them all
when he was
evening.
examining
Them
you,
alone.
and you
I would
read
test
it,
them
it might
beforehand. I
refresh
know
your
for a
memory.
fact because I would test them beforehand.
I could read it, but I cannot say that I will refresh my memory.
Okay, so even if you read it, it wouldn't refresh your memory.
To me, it's all written, but it would not bring memories
Okay,
back.
that's fine.
I try keeping it that way.
Okay, that's fine. How much did Dantana's charge in February of 03 for, say, a Pepsi?
$3.
And would I be correct in assuming if your choice was a Diet Pepsi, the amount was the same?
$3.
Okay, so if in fact, let's just for a moment look at the bar check, the tab. If we assume for a moment that
a regular Pepsi and a Diet Pepsi were ordered, that would amount to $6 at that time.
That is correct.
So if we took $6 off of $33, it would leave a balance of $27 that was charged to something, and I understand you don't know what it is, and the practices in Dantana's, that it could be non-alcohol related
Could be.
food, correct?
Not food, but non-alcoholic beverage.
Non-alcoholic.
I mean, it could mean bottled water as well.
Okay. And if it was 2 Pepsis and 2 Diet Pepsis, that would be $12, right?
That is correct.
And if we took the $12 from the $33, it would leave, help me with my math there, $21, correct?
I lost you on the math, but I take yours.
It's about the only math I can do correctly, I think. Okay. So that leaves us at $21. And by this exhibit, we just don't know how much of that $33 is a portion to non-alcoholic beverages and how much is a portion to alcoholic beverages. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement.
Okay. May I have the court's indulgence for just a moment, please? Thank you.
Thank you. Redirect.
Very briefly, you indicated that this evening stood out in your mind because Mr. Spector left such a large tip, correct?
Excuse me, I think that misstates the evidence. I don't recall something.
Well, he could ask it in a slightly different fashion.
Mr. Quadra, I may have misunderstood you. I thought that you said that $500 tip stands out in your mind.
Every time Mr. Spector came to a restaurant, it stood out on the record for us.
Riveting testimony here.
Generous.
Okay, so this particular night stood out in your mind just as well as the others did. because
Regular
you left
evening,
the
Phil
$500 tip,
Spector.
correct?
Excuse me, objection. That's a big question of experience.
Overruled. You may answer if you can.
Baden back there.
To me, it seems
Phil
vague.
Spector sitting on
Okay,
our
that
lap.
seems vague to you. That's good enough for me. Ask another question.
I'm going to have you on my objections.
Yeah.
I've been watching Law and Order.
I'm sorry, you've been watching Law and Order?
Yes, I
Often breaks out into just a regular comedy show here, live in the courtroom during Murder Church with a man in the middle of a murder trial. Oh my God. Let's just all take a minute. Lord.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can sound it off more like Sam Waterston.
I don't like him.
Did this? I'm 0 for 3 right now, Judge. Did this particular evening serving Mr. Spector stand out in your mind over serving others, for instance, because Mr. Spector left a $500
Kaylin
tip?
just got on the wheel. Kaylin just got on the wheel.
There are some times when I think that I'm confused with the times that he was there, because sometimes I wanna remember what went on that night, but sometimes I think it might have been 2 different times that he was there.
Okay.
So to me, the tip doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't mean very much.
Let me ask you
very
this
much
one.
to me.
When you spoke with the investigators, did you say that this particular evening stood out to some degree in your mind with Mr. Spector because this was the first time you'd seen him order alcohol?
I will.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Objection beyond the scope of cross and asked and answered.
Given where it's gone, I'm going to allow, if it is beyond the scope, I will allow the district attorney to reopen and to do some inquiry along these lines. The objection is overruled. You may proceed.
Go ahead.
I can answer, but again, I will be assuming that that's what I told the investigator, but I have no recollection what I told the investigators either.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Mr. Rosen asked you if the bar serves Cokes or Pepsis or whatever it is, soft drinks.
Yes.
The chat that Mandy just started has now blended into the trial. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing is real and we live inside of a dream.
How much they are? You indicated $3 a piece, correct?
Yes.
Do you think it might have stood out in your mind if Mr. Spector ordered 2 chopped salads and 11 Cokes?
It doesn't make any sense, but I don't know what to say.
That's enough. That's all I have.
Thank you. Recall?
None.
Thank you. Subject to recall, you're excused. Thank you for being here. You're admonished not to discuss your testimony with anyone except the attorneys in the case. You may step down. Thank you.
See how long the next one is. So we approach 1 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. The next one's an hour 15. That is going to do it. The next one is going to be House of Blues General Manager Arch Berghammer takes the stand. And yeah, this guy looks like a real gem. We'll get right in there. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning has been amazing on Murder Church. Holy shit, what a morning. Everybody that's come through with donations. I think I've got a few extra here. Let me look at this poll real quick too. I am going to be purchasing both of these wigs, the shag wig and the mullet, both in ginger form. Oh, it's 50-50. Wow, it just ended, and I'm ending the poll right there at 50-50. 72 votes, 50-50. Shag wig and the mullet are both going to be making appearances in the future for Murder Church. Everybody that came through here this morning and did donations, got on the wheel, winners here this morning that are going to be getting some shirts going their way. Holy crap. And happy birthday to Jay, who has a shirt that Jersey Jen gave to him as a birthday present when she won. I'm just going to check the old email here to make sure I'm not missing anything from the Cash Apps. Nope, we are called up. I do want to make sure that I should give the loves for the ending ones here that I might not have seen. I think they start right here. Gina Seavers coming here with the $1.99, wishing happy birthday to Jay. Bonnie Bailey coming through, getting back on the wheel for another one. That's a winner. Also, she's got a shirt coming, $2. And then Kaylin, our girl Kaylin coming through here, who has her own emoji here at Publicly Buzzed, $1.99. Happy birthday, J-Bo. And hell yeah, thank you so much coming through. And with that happy birthday to Jay, got on the wheel. So hell fuck yeah. Hell fuck yeah. We're not messing around. Looking through here just real quick, hanging and banging. That was a good idea for a shirt also with the hanging and banging. Don't let me forget that because I'm terrible for that. I will forget it in a minute. Yeah, it's lunchtime. I'm going to go get something to eat. Next time you will be seeing me will be Tuesday night for another episode of Murder Church starting right here, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you folks come through. And yeah, thanks again for hanging out here tonight. I appreciate it. I will probably see you in the chats tomorrow. I think we're going to be, this could be coming up on the last week of the Karen Reed trial, if I'm understanding that correctly, which is crazy. It's been quite the month. So yeah, I'm just looking through here real quick, making sure I'm not missing anything right at the end. Showing a little love here. What do we do?
This place is dead anyway, man.
No, that's not what I meant.
Respect my house.
Just chilling. Just chilling.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
All right, guys. Everyone, have a great Sunday. And yeah, I love you. Do not miss a Feral Friday. I'm telling you guys right now, Feral Friday has been off the chain. All right, for a minute now. I'm just saying. Later, guys.
This verse, I think